Oh, man, look at on the computer, you have to hit okay. Anyway,
that's it. Just turn me on, turn me up, and turn me loose.
Oh, hey, y'all. I like the way that works out now. Gosh, that was so much easier.
This thing on?
Trying to do the intro and stuff. Used to, we'd have to try to cut it off and get everybody going and make sure everybody was muted and like that. We had one going before I was able to figure out how to do it, Roger. And I was saying, talking about your pocket Jesus, and I'm not even going to say what it sounded like I said on the beginning of it, but I promise if y'all thought that's what it was, it wasn't.
Wendell.
Well,
Look at that.
Look at there.
Got the Wendell Mosley Bigfoot 911.
Look at there. Yay.
That's what I'm talking about. I didn't even wear a festive shirt. I just got on an old green t-shirt.
Hey, everybody.
That's all right.
Who's all in here?
Angela, Monroe, Murray, Gary, Patrick, Ashes.
Ashes snuck in here. Kevin.
Kevin's in here.
I had a friend in school named Patrick. Daddy would call him Patrick. Hey, Patrick Nobel.
Patrick.
We're going to give him the peace prize.
Brad. Katie. Well, hey, everybody.
Yeah,
I know, Rex, I know. I had to turn my head.
How many we got total? The show? I got to get me a souped up computer to likely do something.
Hello from Bankhead. I saw that one.
Oh gosh, I got to show you. Hang on, I got to show you into the background right quick. It's cute.
Bigfoot and chickens.
Gary, good gracious, Gary.
Gary Box. Thank you, Gary.
Misty's gonna buy us some new. We're taking up money for new muck boots. Misty had a blowout.
Yep.
Hey, I tell you what. They should sponsor me. I'm telling you, I can go through some daggone boots.
Hey, y'all, check my little.
I done had a blowout. I've been. How long have I been taping them? 2 months. That's awesome. Booger Brigade.
She spent more money on duct tape than she would have the boots.
Yeah.
I love them though. That's when they get broken and comfortable.
I've never had a pair.
Listen, you've never had a pair of muck boots?
No, and I walked outside.
Or like just the big slip-on.
I walked outside Saturday morning, and Peyton left me his old pair. You left your boots, and they're yours.
Well, my sister seen mine whenever we were fooling. Sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
The guy said that, hello from Bankhead. Looks like he's on the north side of Bankhead. I had a guy, I'm not going to call his name, but he's watches the show. He sent me a message this morning on Messenger. Said that his sighting he'd had was at the Borden Trailhead in the Bankhead Forest. And that's kind of on the opposite side from me where that's at, but that's up closer to the north side. But that what was the odd thing on it? He said that the one he saw was not. This is not the odd part. He said the one he saw was standing up on top of a bluff. But I had another gentleman it's been about 4 years ago. He was getting some exercise and he was there at the boarding trailhead and he walked in about a half a mile and said something got to growling at him. He got to hearing limbs break and said then he got to hearing it huffing, and then rocks started coming out hitting all around. He said he knew better than run, but he said he walked at a brisk pace about a half a mile back out to his truck. And said when he got in his truck to leave, as he was backing up to turn around, he looked down about 20, 25 yards in the timber, said that he saw a booger, and said he saw it from like the waist up. And he said this thing was huge. He said it had to be over 8 foot tall. And he said it was a reddish brown. But I just thought that was pretty interesting this morning. You know, this other man had sent me a message that he had his encounter was there at the boarding trailhead.
Wow. I know that the creepy, me and Heather thought we were lost up in there. We didn't have any signal to come through. We came out about 14 miles north of you and took a road. That's a sketchy area when you don't know where you're at. I can see how.
Misty, you can pop up his comment there that Charles Carroll said he found a structure behind his house.
That's what I was looking for. I wasn't sure how far back it was. I couldn't find the other one, but I found this one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I get a lot of reports out of the Bankhead. Lots of reports.
I called Ken, woke him up, and talked his ear off about an hour. I think he fell asleep on me earlier tonight. No, he didn't.
Kenny Shivers?
Yeah. Yep.
Man. I wonder how their big powwow thing went. You know, they had that.
No, Gary, I'd like to.
I don't know. I'd like to go sometime. It's just it's been a bad year for me going places, but Window said I don't have any shirts. You sold all of them.
Yeah. Pyro said he found a glyph last week.
Oh Lord. I've been experimenting with that,
Looks
y'all,
like
since
Roman numeral 9.
I had that asterisk that went missing. It was big. It was the cedars are about 10 to 12 foot long made the X. Then I laid that 6 or 7 inch log in the middle, made sure everything was sturdy, and Peyton went back and it was gone. Couldn't find the logs. So I did one at the north end last week, and I made it a stick like this, and then I put 4 sticks equal all the way down, put it on the ground. We went back Friday night, and the top one was moved down. It made a point like that. The third one was moved down to the fourth one, about an inch in between, and it was straight across. And I'm like, you know, if an armadillo or something walked through this, they'd be scattered everywhere. So I don't know what that means. I may be playing with fire. So
I don't know. You may be telling their mama's ugly.
I don't
know. But hey, look, Charles had posted that, you know, he'd like to talk to me over the phone if possible. I really don't want to get my phone number out on here, but Charles, go on Facebook, find me on Facebook, send me a private message, and I'll get with you.
We'll give it to you. It's
hey, Carl.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all keep the show going for just a second. Let me run the dogs out right quick before we really get started, because JR's done in bed for work, and they both decided they wanted to get up and want to go outside. So give me like 5 minutes. Y'all just sit and talk. Tell them about what's been going on with Yuns. I'll be right back.
Catherine said I've missed Greg. Oh,
Well, I appreciate that. Greg's proud to be here. Greg like to took a dirt nap about a month ago.
About that
That was
close.
a bad day. Yeah, yeah. I like to win on the glory.
Well, we're glad you didn't. It might have been fun if you did for you, but
Oh man, you
that's
know
the
what,
way.
man? It was interesting, to say the least. The thing about it, Roger, I thought it was a whole lot more dramatic if you was on the brink of death. Dude, I just thought I was sick. I didn't realize I was like
They
1 foot in the grave, nothing on a nanner pill.
they forgot to tell you. It's like, oh, by the
Yeah,
way,
I got to the hospital, and that's one of the few things I remember about the first day when they admitted me was getting there. And they started checking some stuff, and they were like in a panic. I was like, well, shit, I felt this bad for like 3 or 4 days. Yeah. Come to find out, I should have been in ICU, but they didn't have any room for me. So they put me on another, I don't know what, it's kind of like a step down from ICU level in the hospital, which everybody there took great, wonderful care of me. I mean, wonderful people, everybody at that hospital. And a big shout out to all those folks. I mean, that was up here at, it's called NAMC. It's NAMC, is North Alabama Medical Center. It's a big hospital here in Muscle Shoals. Y'all, that hospital's not like 7 years old. Everything in it's up, it's like up to date, super clean. Everybody there, that was the most. I'm talking about everybody from the lady that came around every day and cleaned the room, the nurses, the nurse assistants, the doctors, everybody up there. That was the most wonderful people I've ever been around. I mean, now I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you the food was great that they brought on the plates every day, because that left something to, hospital food. It's like a law. It's got to be terrible. So
they might have had a thing on the door with a little temperature thing. It's like, don't
yeah,
upset him. He's down here. He's got about 10 minutes left.
yeah.
So don't be the one.
Hmm. I mean, look, dude. My wife's asked me a bunch of times. She's like, "How do you just talk to everybody?" I'm like, "Look, I'm a friendly guy. I enjoy talking with people." And they kept me up there. I done a 12-day stint. I didn't know if they was going to release me or parole me. I didn't know if I was coming home with an ankle monitor or what. But I was in there a while. And but my wife, we left. She's like, "You made friends with everybody." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm a hell of a nice guy." But by the time I got home, after 3 or 4 days had passed, I had 6 different nurses that sent me friend requests on Facebook. And I was
Oh,
that might make you feel awesome. I mean, that was awesome.
oh my
But yeah, so look, if I got to go back to the hospital, that's where I'm going. I just hope I don't have to.
Patrick says he had a woman yesterday ask him about his Woodwalkers T-shirt.
Ah, that's what I'm
That's
talking
pretty,
about.
that's pretty cool when you wear stuff out. Oh my
Yeah.
God, Rex, Greg wanted that catheter to take home. Mm-mm.
Oh, look here, y'all. Whoa. My God, look, what is throw it down. I'll tell them about that whole story too. I'm embarrassed to.
Well,
I'm embarrassed to.
your aunt's in here. Let me give you a warning before you tell the
Well,
story.
that's all right. I done told her about it. Um, the doctor's like, "Look, we need to measure what's coming out of you, and we need to keep a detail on it. So we're going to put a catheter in." And I'm like, "Oh no, we don't." Yeah, let's don't. Oh no, we need to. We need to. It's like, let's don't. It's like, yeah, that's going to be the best thing to do. And me going, no, it's not. Well, anyway, they decided yes that was the best thing. So I kind of gave up arguing with them. They are the medical professionals. I'm not. They sent this nurse in, and had her little roll around computer thing, and had this young dude. He was probably 27, 20, 28 years old, got a short beard. He comes in, he's holding this lubed up catheter, and I'm like, please don't.
Please.
He's like, well, it's going to be like, this is uncomfortable for both of us. I said, yeah, but it's going to be a lot more uncomfortable for me. And he's sitting there and he starts putting this thing in, and me being me, I looked him square in the eyes. I said, you know what? I said, if this is the way you play all this kind of rough, There'll be no second date. And look, the nurse, she about lost it. She's over there with her head down and she's just bouncing, trying not to laugh. And this dude, I know that made him feel horribly uncomfortable. Well, finally, when he gets completely done with it, I said, "Are you done violating me?" He's kind of shook his head, and I said, "You know what?" I said, "We're in Alabama." I said, "I'm pretty sure me and you's going steady now."
Married.
And that nurse, the nurse lost it. She absolutely lost it. So, you know, you got to have some levity. I mean, it's either laugh or cry. And I ain't much on crying, so I figured we'd laugh a little bit.
Get your mind made up.
Yeah.
When
They'd
we're
much rather have somebody cutting up than somebody in there being a damn asshole.
Yeah.
well, you know, you're talking about talking to everybody. When we went to LBL, our store had shut down before Heather met me, so I talked to people from all over the world. You know, for almost 30 years. So, and me being, you know, I'd ask questions about, you know, the food in the region, you know, all this stuff. So when we were at the LBL, that's one thing I'd missed out on when the store shut down. I was talking to everybody, and I didn't know if Heather was watching. And I came back after we'd been there like a day or something. She said, "You know what? You're in your element." I said, "What do you mean?" She's around people. She said, "You're talking to everybody. You're getting." I'm like, "That's just that's the way I grew up." You know, I'll make the first attempt to say howdy and all that. You know, if somebody don't want to talk, that's fine. But I can't. I get it honest. My whole daddy side of the family the same way. So their sense of humor is crazy. Oh my God, Hillary found us again. She's getting good at this.
I'm telling you,
We can't hide from her.
No, I hope Hillary comes to the meet and greet when we have one.
We need Hillary on the show.
I told her last night. I was talking to her in chat on DA's show. You know, talked to her about coming. I said, "Look, I got bail money. We're getting much trouble."
Look at Kevin's comment. There's a great sense of humor while having a garden hose stuck in your willy.
Yeah, dadgum, I felt like I had the thing turned on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was yeah. It was a bad day.
That makes me hurt. I wish I'd have turned my sound off for that.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, there's not much of a market for people wanting them things. I promise you.
The grass is green. It's showing through the. My son brought me that back.
That's cool.
Gatlinburg, I think.
Gatlinburg?
Yeah. Taking the catheter out hurts worse than putting it in.
Yes, 100%.
If you don't, hey, look, if you don't deflate it, it would. My God, that thing blows up like a bubble on the inside. Look, I didn't tell y'all this. When the nurse that came in to remove it, she said, "You may feel a little bit of pressure. Said it may burn a little bit when I pull this out." I said, "Look, you ain't gonna try to crank me like a chainsaw, are you?" And she lost it.
It can't be no worse than you know the surgeries and things like that you was doing to yourself there for a little while.
Look, I've tried to tell people
that didn't hurt.
people that's never heard that story, and I can't tell it on here because we would never have a show ever again. But when I tell y'all out there in YouTube land that I have a severely high tolerance for pain, I'm not joking. So if you hear me say I'm hurting or I can't stand that or this is bad, trust me, most people would have done passed out like three notches below there. I performed surgery on myself and cut stuff open, and I've even stitched my own self up.
I went 3 years, never heard that, and I'm like, I don't want to even ask him. One day I was talking to him, Greg, I never heard that story, and he started telling. I was like, oh no.
When I tell you,
throw the phone out in the street, like quit.
That out of probably the 100, at least 100 grown men that's heard that story, there's not been one of them that's heard that story that hadn't cringed and like curled up in the corner going, "You did what?" I said, "Yeah." Trust me, it hurt. It buckled my knees when I done it, but I had to do it.
So I'm gonna tell y'all this story about right here, and y'all think about this in another the worst spot possible for Greg. I had a bout with staff come from football equipment, and it felt like a baseball came up and under here, and it was severe pain. I didn't have any insurance, and I took one of my sharp knives with a real thin point, and I put it in alcohol. I burned it. I put it in alcohol again. I was making sure, I was hurting so bad one night about 2 a.m. I put my arm up on the side of the wall in front of the mirror, and I stuck that point down in there in that hole as far as I could till it met resistance. Then I counted to 3 and I flicked it open. And when I did, it was just relief. That stuff came out. I ended up going to the doctor, getting taken care of and all that. But imagine that somewhere where you wouldn't want it. And imagine doing that same thing. That's all I'm going to say. Is that close?
It wasn't due to infection. It was due to an injury.
Right.
But
An injury we didn't know could happen, but apparently it can.
Look, I told the surgeon that I was going to be a poster boy for that.
Hillary said, "Shut them up."
Oh Lord!
I'm glad you made it clear though that it wasn't from
it wasn't from infection.
It was not infection. I did not have the gonorrhea.
No, the old jackhammer was on high and it hit a stop.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
No more. He has told it has been a while.
Yeah. Well, I'm just telling you. I've tried to tell people. I pulled that splinter out of my foot that night, and I thought Wanda was going to pass out. I had on a big. It's hunting season, so this is a hunting season story. Had on a big pair of the thickest Rocky socks that you could get. These were like super wick water. They were real thick and fluffy. Well, my house is all hardwood floors, and it's pine floors, 1x8 pine, and they're nailed down with horseshoe nails, and so you see the little cracks between them. So it's an old timey floor. I come in, took my boots off, and I went down the hallway going to the bathroom, and I guess I didn't pick my foot up real good, and my foot kind of slid on the hardwood floor. Well, when it slid, like mid stride, my foot hangs. Something hits me, and it's like somebody's tripped my foot, and I hear wood snap, like crunch. And there's this shooting pain that's coming from my foot all the way up to the top of my head, like danger, Will Robinson. And I'm hobbling, and I get to the hobble to the bed and sit down and look. And y'all, oh my God, right between like my second toe and the third toe, where your toe attaches to your foot, there was a little sliver of one of those pine boards had curled up. Well, that stopped. The fabric caught it and it peeled it up. Well, my foot was going, so it went in, and it went in on the bottom, and it went like here's my ankle. It went in here, went all the way up and come up, and had the skin pushed up on top of my foot.
Oh my God!
It didn't come through, but it goes in here though, and my foot's a size 12. So we're talking a splinter this long, and where it broke off was like 2 kitchen matches wide. And I'm screaming. Oh my God, I'm screaming like crazy. And Wanda thinks I've lost my mind. And I'm telling her, I said, there's a splinter in my foot. And she's looking, where? Well, it's like up inside there where it broke off. I said, go to my work truck and get a pair of needle nose vice grip pliers. Told her where they're at, what cabinet they're in. Get me some alcohol. I got to have a razor blade. Hurry. She goes, how big is it? I said, well, it's big enough that it's all the way up here trying to come out on the top. So it's about this long. She's like, you're going to the hospital. I said, no, I'm not. We got to get this out. So I had to cut my foot open, slice it open to get to the wood. And when I got those pliers on it, I'd go to pull it. And when I'd pull, it would pick my foot up. Oh, it was bad. I'm like, look, at least help. What can I do? I said, grab my ankle, hold it down. And I got those pliers clamped on it, both hands, and I just jerk it. And when I do, that thing, y'all, I'm not kidding, is like 6.5, 7 inches long. Come down to a needle point. I peroxided it, put some methylate or something on it, and bandaged her up, and we're good to go. But y'all.
I had to quit listening. Oh my God. I've had so many injuries, but when you go to the doctor like now and they say on this chart, where's your pain? I'm like, well, you don't have the pain that I've experienced on the chart. So, once you've been on fire and had like Greg and had stuff happen, man, other stuff it hurts, but it's tolerable. Peyton's in chat. He said, send the link, Misty.
Where to? I sent it to the group text. How else does he want me to send it? How else you want it, Peyton?
Peyton, go to our group text, Peyton, and scroll up a little bit. It should be right there.
Yeah, and you can tell a lot of stuff on here, but there are lines. So just telling you.
I just now seen it.
I remember my mom. I was building my first house, and we had people working there, and I'd come in from work and I'd help do things, and I'd keep the trash cleaned up because people would throw stuff around, have nails in it, whatever. And I didn't get a chance to look yet, and me and my mom was carrying a light door. We're bringing it from the inside, going to put it in the garage, get out of the way. And she's the first one out, and she jumps off the stoop and lands on a 1x with about an 8-penny nail in it. And
that's nice.
And she started screaming, and I looked down, and there's nail, so many inches nail, so many inches foot, so many inches nail, and I'm like, oh crap. So I'm like, how am I? And like you said, Greg, she took crap. The nail didn't come out the skin, but it was pushing up. She could feel it.
Right.
So I'm like panicking a little bit, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I've heard stories of people sitting down and kind of wrenching it out, and that hurts worse. So I'm like, Mama, what is it? And she told me, but I asked her 3 times to make her mad. And when she started screaming at that 3rd time, I stomped that son of a gun as hard as I could. She had her foot up, and it come out just like that. And she stopped and looked at me like, what'd you just do? And I said, it's out. Let's get to the emergency room. But I'm like, if I start wrenching on this, she's going to pass out, and I can't get her to the car.
Dude, growing up on a farm, I've been hurt and cut and broke, and the list of broken bones that I've got is way longer than the list of unbroken bones. I've been broke up from head to toe. I've been cut. No telling how many stitches I've had, and no telling how many I should have had that we super glued shut. But it was always just working on the farm is always something dangerous, and everything's sharp, and it's all covered in rust and all kind of bacteria. I've had enough tetanus shots. I should be good for the next 40 years.
Katie, Lord, I just come back from around the tail, the splinter of doom, and here's Roger telling about his poor mama. The last tetanus shot I had, y'all know how sometimes they'll take the oil barrels and they'll cut them open with a can opener, the 55-gallon drum. Yeah. My daddy told me to go. We had trash barrels before we had a dumpster at the store, and I was young, 13 or so.
Last tetanus shot I had was due to a SIG P320 recall.
Yeah,
I just remembered that they gave me a tetanus shot when I went to the doctor.
Do you have a picture of that?
Yeah, it's gruesome. I don't know if people can see it.
Good for 10 years now. And tetanus shot used to be like 5. Now it's like 10.
You don't need them anyways, but I didn't say that. That, in my opinion, I'm not even going to get started on this, but you really don't need them.
What I did with the barrel. I didn't know any better, and I was trying to move that barrel. I was going to spin it, and I reached inside the lip and twisted, and it cut me like saws all across these fingers. And, of course, my dad's like, what'd you do that for? Y'all, the backstory behind this, Peyton had his pistol in the holster, and it went off. It didn't pull the trigger, didn't do anything. It's a striker fire. I get a phone call. He didn't call me. I get a phone call early the next morning. It says, Daddy, I'm okay. That's a 9mm bullet. I said, wow, you're okay. And then my mind's racing. I said, is everybody else okay?
This is for educational medical purposes.
Yep.
If I hadn't had a steel toe boot, it would have blown my toe off.
Yep.
Hold on a second, Peyton. Hold on. I'll see if I can. Got stuff in here.
The bullet hit the steel toe boot and came apart and went up into his dash and cut up a lot of electronics. He couldn't even go.
It cut the wire that sends the signal to the battery when you turn the key over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have a friend come and splice it, like cut it and twist it back together.
That's a bad call. It's like, Daddy, don't be mad. I'm okay. I'm like, do I want to hear the rest of this?
Roger, how do you get each individual person to go on a
You're
like?
asking the wrong
make it-
one.
Make him
Oh
big.
wait,
You make
hold on.
him big.
Yeah, I think I got it.
There you
Look
go.
at that.
Oh,
Sean,
now
It's Paul Payton.
it was a SIG
they
P320.
changed it, and I wasn't sure how to do it anymore.
Payton looks like he's in a padded room. Man.
Yeah, it's bad.
Be careful. Don't scroll too far. I don't know what's on there. See where it
Yeah.
cauterized it right there? The
I was
black.
say it looked like it powder burned it, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did. It didn't really bleed that much. I mean, considering.
Yeah.
It could have been a whole lot worse.
I bet that was pretty loud in the cab of the truck.
It was
It was
definitely-
like I got hit with a flashbang, dude. It was like I didn't know what happened. It, like I couldn't see for a second. And I'm like, did my gun just go off or did somebody shoot at me? I didn't know what happened. It almost, for a second, I thought somebody stuck a gun behind the window, and shot, and like it come in, and I was like looking around, and nobody was even around me or whatever. And then I looked down, and my jeans had a rip in them about that long running down the side. Like I said, the gun never come out of the holster.
Yeah. P320.
The trigger was never exposed. It was one of the ones that was recalled, and I got out of the truck. Well, at first I was looking down, and I'm like, "Oh God, I don't even want to look," because I didn't know if it had traveled down my leg and blew my kneecap out from the back, or went and hit that artery or whatever, dude. I was freaking out, and
Yeah. That's
got
that's
out of the
time to
truck.
freak out.
I didn't freak out. I was just, all these thoughts were going through my head, and I got out of the truck, and I held the door, and I held the roof of the truck, and I put a little weight on the leg. I'm like, okay, it must not be too bad. I can put weight on it. And then I took my belt off, and I had a piece of rebar or a broken tobacco stick or something about that long in the bed of my truck, and I took my belt off and stuck it in the, like, between my skin and the belt, and twisted as hard as I could. And I hobbled over to the dude who was parked beside me, and he was like, he rolled the window up, and I was like, "Call 911." My gun went off and shot me or whatever. He thought I said someone shot me, and he rolled the window up real slow and started to roll off. And I like beat on his window, and I'm like, "Dude, call 911." Well, he finally figured out what I was trying to say, and he was talking to the operator, and like he couldn't. I had to take the phone from him. I'm like, "Look, I'm at Exit 32 store. My gun went off in my holster. It hit my leg. I don't know how bad it is. I can walk. I'm still like up and, like not passed out or anything." So
Yeah. Wow.
I prop my leg. I sit on the ground and I prop my leg up on the tire actually, and just lay down to like all the blood come back this way or whatever was my thought. And dude, I'm looking around and like people are starting to circle up all over the place. This manager of the store is the one who gave me the she didn't give
The milk
what
crate?
she just, it was a milk crate to sit on or something. I don't know. She brought it out there. She thought that I was gonna put my leg on that, and then it wasn't high enough, so I just set it on the tire and laid back. And I think I put my hoodie on the milk crate so my head wouldn't be on the ground or whatever. And I started looking around, and people are starting to circle up all around. And the ambulance is about probably 2 miles away, and you can hear them on that highway. And I looked around. I was like, "Does anybody have any ideas, any medical experience, or anything that could help me right now?" And it was like they all at the same time was like shook their head. And I was like, "Well, get out of the way so that the medics don't have to beat you down to get to me or whatever." And then the ambulance guy come and cut my pants open and saw what happened. He was like, "Dude, out of any way you could have shot yourself, this is the best way that happened." I was like, "I didn't shoot myself. The gun went off in my holster, dude."
They
And
said
then
they said it come over the police
Scanner?
calls and their scanner that they told his name, Peyton Williams, self-inflicted gunshot. I'm glad I didn't hear it. self-inflicted
No,
gunshot wound and
I
all
had
that.
people calling me, thought I'd off myself at the damn store.
Hey, see if you're going. But I tell you what, the manager. I talked to the manager later. She said, "Roger, I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody around was panicking. He was the only one that wasn't panicking." And I'm like, "Well, I guess that's good. I mean, he probably might have been in shock." But y'all in chat, Peyton, your girlfriend, what does she do? She's a trauma nurse.
She
or
was
ER
she
nurse.
was a trauma nurse. Now
Yeah.
she's she got into sales, so she's not
But
doing that anymore. But she did that for 8 years, I think. Four,
Wow.
and then 4 in the.
That's somebody handy to have around, Peyton.
right,
Yeah, no kidding.
that's why I was
especially
single.
with my luck.
I was single for 14 years. And, I read on Facebook, you get to a certain age, you need to have somebody in the house that recognizes the signs of a stroke. So I went and found Heather.
Yes.
That's
I
all.
was gonna say something, but I'm not going to since you boys in here.
Oh, it don't matter.
Oh Lord.
No, I was
He-
just going.
he's
I was
probably
just
heard
going to
it
talk
all.
about you buying it, Kip.
No doubt.
Oh my God.
That come from too much stroking.
It's a wonder I didn't end up like Greg did.
No doubt. Uh-uh.
But anyway,
Oh, them old men can't get married, whenever they're old and think they're still in their 20s.
Hey,
hey,
we can't help it if our mind thinks we're 20 and our body thinks we're 90.
That's how you
I
wear out
know.
them hips.
Mhm.
Peyton, I know Spencer might get us. Tell everybody what happened to you walking in the hunting the other morning.
Spencer's gonna be pissed.
No,
I don't know. It's. I mean, it'd be on the thing or whatever, but
Tell us.
Well, now hold on. Does he
This
have
is
you?
this is technically woodwalkers.
Well, I know, but does he already have you scheduled to come on? Or
no.
is-
I don't even think we planned to talk about it live. He just wanted me to record, like, tell it and like FaceTime him basically and tell
Yeah,
it.
I
But we were
gotcha,
gonna do
okay.
it through StreamYard.
Well, yeah, no,
Well,
we're not
talk
on our
away.
channel on the Night Owls, so I mean, heck, that's up to you, whatever you want to do. But yeah,
I don't
you're
care.
more
I mean,
welcome. I'm telling you,
I'll-
you can.
Telling him,
He's scared of Spencer.
No.
Tell us about it.
Yeah.
So I was walking in. Of course, it was about 45 minutes before daylight, so it's still pretty dark outside. And I've got my headlamp on because it's rocky and there's damn plants out there with thorns on them about that long, and I don't like walking into those, so I have a headlamp. I know some people walk in their stands with no light or whatever, but so walking up, I get up on what we call the plateau. So it's like it's not a real steep hill. It just kind of goes up and then it flattens off. It's more or less like a step, because it goes up for about 75 yards and then it goes flat for about 120, maybe 150, and then it goes back up to my stand.
And it's like
And
a
that's
backbone ridge where it's drop off on both sides.
yeah.
And he's walking towards where I made the asterisk, and something took it. They took all 3 logs, and it's gone. So
So
this is the place.
So I'm walking, and I'm about probably 350 yards from my stand, if I had to guess. And I get on the top of the hill, and I've got my headlamp where it's pointed out in front of me so I can see, but it's not a little light. I've got it where it's making one big circle. And I catch something up here, like a flicker, it seemed like, and I looked up and kind of pulled my headlamp in so it draw the light in a little bit, make more of a concentrated beam. And I saw 2 eyeballs. Well, my first thought was, oh, it's a cow in the woods. And then I was thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, I shouldn't be able to see anything in the woods from this angle because there's too much. What are them bushes called? I keep forgetting.
Locust
Locust trees. There's
thorn-
locust trees, thorn trees all
Thorns
over
are
the
that
place.
long. Yeah.
And I'm thinking I shouldn't be able to see anything's eyeballs because of the concentration of trees in between me and the woods. So, and at the angle I'm looking at, like he said, it's starting to go down, and then I notice I'm like, whoa, those are pretty high up and pretty far apart to be a cow. Um, I don't know if raccoons climb locust trees or not, but that marked that out, and then I got to thinking, oh my gosh, shit, I've done walked up on one of these things, and um, I
What
was
color was
like,
the eye?
well,
What
they
color was
were
the eye
they were
shine?
bright burning orange. They look like the size of a quarter, or I mean a dollar, silver dollar, from that far away. So I mean, do the math on that.
And you were what, 70 yards? You said from it.
Ish. It's
Yeah.
hard to tell because it was dark. I mean, I have really no reference of where it was because it was dark. I just know the eyeballs were massive and about what looked like that far apart. I mean, um, so that runs through my head. I'm like, I don't walked up on one of these things. I don't. What do I do? I mean, do I keep walking, pretend, or does that piss it off? And I said something to the effect like, I'm not here for you, you big son of a bitch. Just go back doing whatever you're doing. I'm here to deer hunt or whatever. And I seen it. It like turned, one eye disappeared. Oh, it blinked too. I forgot that. It like I was watching it and it blinked in the middle of me thinking what to say. And then I was like, I just said, I'm not, I'm not here for you or whatever. Go back to doing whatever you're doing. And I said that out loud. I didn't think that. And I heard as it was turning, it was like mm, like a moan, like I don't know if it was a pissed off or acknowledgement, like acknowledging that okay, I'm not here to hurt you either, or whatever. I don't know. I really don't. I just know what I saw and heard, and then
But
like
but
the
but important part is it walked off down the hill. It didn't fly off, right?
no, yeah, it walked off. I heard it.
Right.
I watched it turn its head. One eye disappeared first, and then the other eye followed, which I would assume would be something turning its head and walking at what would be sounded like about a 45-degree angle from me and walked up that way. And the ground was wet that morning. It was open in the morning, so it had come a pretty good rain the night before, but I could faintly hear like ground being compacted under 2 feet is what it sounded like. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how close I was. It was too close, probably. But
Didn't you say after daylight the dogs were going
yeah,
crazy
and
over on the
then
other ridge and tell them what happened
well, I
there?
heard when I got to the stand, I heard it was like like that. It wasn't an owl. I mean, it was a poor owl call. I'll put it that way. Um, and then yeah, a dog was going like it was two or three of them going off about an hour after the sun come up on the other ridge, the direction that thing would have been walking, and then it was like one of them, they're barking, and it was like, and then everything stopped. The other two stopped. That dog stopped. Everything went quiet. And I'm thinking, oh shit, somebody's dog done got, murked out here in the woods. But who knows? I mean, I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, because like I said, I didn't see it, but it was pretty coincidental.
Yeah,
And for the people that don't know, this is the same property where Peyton and Roger have had several things happen to them.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Well, if you had to compare it to what you thought it would have been as far as like looking at a deer's eyes or something like that, I mean, you talking quite a bit bigger or
Oh yeah. Well,
further
what
apart?
stood out was is that the angle that I was looking at, it was the hill started tapering off down back to this field, and it would have been standing. I mean, it was still like taller than me. I still had to look up to see it, and where it's standing is on a lot lower ground than what I'm standing on. And then this how far apart they were is what I was like, oh, that's big, whatever that is. First thought was cow because there are cows out there. then I stopped and was looking at it, and then the more I looked at it, like then they looked at me, I was like, that's not a cow because that's 11 feet up in the air probably or more. Who knows? I don't know how. Like I said, it was dark, so in comparison of where it would have been down here on this slope ground, I don't know where it would have been standing. How high it would have been.
Well,
But it
and
was
also,
still taller than me and standing on ground lower than me. So, like,
this
I
is the
don't.
place where in 2020, I hadn't thought of Bigfoot in all these years since I was 14. Well, I thought about it, but I hadn't seen anything or heard anything. We went to scout this place for the first time, and that's where the rock was tossed at us, and that's where my phone went off. And we got out of there, and we've had several things. Just 6 weeks ago, whenever it was bow season, before bow season, he was put a blind up.
Oh, dude, we were sitting there messing with my blind, and you heard something first, and then it was like, whoop, like that on the other ridge,
And it was
and then it
big.
did that whoop again, sounded like something. That's exactly what it was. That whoop, like, and
And it did it the first time. It was on the ridge where we had the rock thrown at us. About 10 minutes later, when it did it, it was closer to us. It worked
it
its way
was
down the ridge.
less than probably 300 yards.
And so that's when I had the idea because I'm sitting in my chair because I can't walk a lot. So I'm sitting in the chair and I'm thinking about it. He's doing his, and we're paying attention. But I got to thinking about some of the things Kane had told us. So my dumb ass goes and gets two 10 to 12 foot little cedar trees with no limbs, old ones, dead, made an X and then made an asterisk out of about a 6 or 7 inch log that was dead and put it in the middle. Then he goes back up there and I'm like, check that thing, make sure the cows ain't knocked it down. And it's right there at his blind. And he can't find none of the logs. So something removed it and we don't know where it's at. So I feel like, we spooked that one up last year and, his first reaction was to bring the gun up and I put my hand on top of the scope. I said, you know what, Greg and Kumbo and all them told us about this. He said, oh yeah, I was just trying to get a look at it. And I put my hands up and I said, hey, we're leaving. You can have the place. That was the weirdest day ever there. There was a lot of stuff went on that day. We stayed there all
That
day long.
place. So I don't know what the percentage would be, but I've been going there 6 years now. This will make 6 or 5. Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
And every time I go, I'm lucky enough to see at least one deer every time. I've kept track of it except 3 times. And every time that we haven't seen a hair of a deer, something effed up happens. And
Or
I mean,
squirrels.
or squirrels or birds. You can go in there and you can feel the quiet sometimes. And I'm like, okay, like what's
going on?
going on now? Because
Um,
every time I go, I've been there before and there'll be 30 deer. I counted 30 deer coming and it wasn't a group of 10 and they come back throughout the day 2 times. It was they all down the same trail past my stand, 30 deer went on so there's deer everywhere out there. And when there's not, it's almost like, I mean, like I said, it's been 3 times that I can remember.
The morning that we spooked that one and it huff growled at us, very large. When it moved its feet, you could tell. And it's 40 yards away. We can't see it because that side of the hill is dark. And I had a flashlight in my hand and forgot about it. That's people always say, won't you get a picture? Hell, I had a flashlight. All I do was pop that thing and I forgot it was in my hand because we're in a situation, So that morning I went and sat, it was before my surgery. I went and sat in the fence row about 500 yards from him. And right as daylight hit, that I was sitting still and the pressure changed in my ears like he was going up a mountain. And I'm like, what is that? And the right ear started buzzing and I had heard 2 heavy footfalls just out of sight. And I'm like, the cows ain't up here. They don't hardly ever come up here anymore. And I'm like, that's early. And I heard the steps. Something stepped on a rock that was on a rock. And I heard it rock like that. And I'm like, uh-oh, I didn't hear a hoof. So it was going like it was going up and around the top of the ridge. And at the top of that field is where that big X we found uh, 2-3 years ago, I guess. It wasn't there, and then all of a sudden now it's there. One of the trees had been pushed over to lean against the tree, but the other one that the root ball, it was brought in from somewhere else. It wasn't another one that just fell. So we've had a lot of stuff happen there, and I don't know whether because I don't know if it was keeping an eye on us that day. It was maybe it was talking or giving signals to another one, but I felt like it was watching us. And then when I made that sign, that asterisk sign, and for something to remove it, what y'all don't know about this place is people don't hunt it because it's so rugged. I mean, we walk. That's why I hadn't been this year. To get back there, you can't go four wheeler, side by side, or even a truck sometimes because of those locust thorns. Some of them are 3 and 4 inches long, and then they've got the side pieces here. It's just now look. Peyton sent me a video from a couple days ago, and when you first hear it, you're like, "Wait, what is that?" But it's a bull going crazy. You can tell. You can tell the difference, and and if I
There's
was
one video that, like, if you didn't know what it was, though, like, it doesn't have that woof at the end,
yeah,
and it's just making crazy ass noises. And if you didn't know what it was, like, that's all I got, and send it to a bunch of people. They're probably like, that's Bigfoot,
well, you have to be
because
careful
that you would
because
think that.
if we were shady, we could have put that out there and said, "Hey, what is this?" But we knew it was a bull. Um, we've heard things before we couldn't explain. Peyton called Greg one day, a couple years ago, wasn't it? And he
Yeah.
was laying on the ground and something was vibrating the ground like it was a beating his chest or stomping the ground, which we've heard stories of them things hitting the ground with their fists, people seeing them do that. And he felt that. He was on his belly about to
A doe
take.
saw it. There was a
Yeah.
deer about 200 yards from me, and when it did it, she turned and looked. Both ears went that way, and I've got her zoomed in on a non-power scope at 200 yards, so I can see her pretty good. I can see her eyes like get big, and she just freezes there the whole time. Whatever this pounding sound is goes on for, and then as soon as it stops, she doesn't run, but gets low and goes in like these over interwoven things of like just messy grass that's been there forever. And she snuck through that. And then when she got on top of the hill, thought she was out of sight, she bolted. She never flagged. She never raised her tail.
That's
So
unusual. That's
yeah,
very unusual.
she was sneaking off. She didn't want something to see her.
But I just don't know. We've had enough stuff happen. The first welcome was the rock toss, and it was about that big, wasn't it, Peyton? And it come through and bounced
Yeah.
down the hill towards us. But that's what got all this started again. Because I pushed all that back. Couldn't talk to anybody anyway. So when that happened, and it was at a tree break that shouldn't have been there. That there was nothing, no scuffs on the tree. It was a hardwood, and it was broke about 5.5 foot up, Peyton, maybe.
Yeah.
There's a picture. You're standing beside it, but y'all, when a hardwood, when it gets a load on it, the roots are going to take the pressure. This thing was broken here, high pressure. The splinters shot out the backside, so that was something pretty strong broke that, and that's when we started digging again, for this Bigfoot stuff. But that's a locust tree, and there are
I'm 6
thorns.
foot.
And the backstory from this is that's the first year the one was 5.5 foot. This one is broken over, and there's no scuffs on the trees, y'all. There are no other trees like that. So what caused that? We feel like it's some kind of marker because his stand is these things were broke over the one year before, and then I'm like, well, maybe it's letting something else know that you're up there. Well, that was the fresh break the next year because the third year we
Here's the
walked up
first
through
one.
there, the first one. So it's like what 5.5 foot.
Yeah. I mean,
See
I've
those
got my
thorns, y'all?
phone.
See those
Yeah.
thorns? There, none of them
Yeah.
were missing. There's no scuffs on the tree anywhere.
Yeah, those thorns will go through a tractor tire.
Yeah. And so he walked up on that one in the dark and sent me a picture. Like, what did this? So I went back up there and looked at it, and we examined the whole thing. A tractor didn't do it. It had to be 2 hands probably. But anyway, the third year we were looking for that signal, and we found one. But tell them what it would look like, Peyton.
I don't even remember, honestly.
The one that was, instead of broke down like that double, it was broken to the right. It was fresh. It was broken.
Yeah.
It was pointed down the hill. And I said, "What's down there?" He said, "All them guys that hunting the place now, they put a stand right down there at the end of that knob." And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah. So we don't know that's what it means, but there's starting to be a pattern. And it's, Rex, you're right. Those trees are tough to cut, much less break. And you see how it was twisted? Yeah. So we're not saying
You
as
look
a
in
Bigfoot.
the middle of it, the middle is like split like that in the center of so that's, the wind didn't do that, I don't think.
Yeah. And the guy that owns the land, he kind of found out what we've been talking about. And he's now carrying a pistol sidearm when he goes out there with his cow. So,
how many people you know is going to just try to grab a black locust and break it anyways? I put one through a boot that it was stupid. I never even thought kicking. I was trying to burn a bunch of them I had cut down, and it was dark and I wasn't paying attention. I was out there just as it was burning. I was just kind of kicking it with my boots, just, the ends of it. Kicked one, that went straight through my boot into my foot. And if anybody's ever been stuck by one of these things, they are poisonous.
Yeah.
They can kill you, but they'll rot your skin away. It's really, really hard to not know that you've been stuck by one of them. So not many people's going to just go through and just start trying to break those off. Or if they do, they'll only do it once. I promise you.
He's my son, but I don't know many people personally that are strong as he is. And there's no way in hell he could have done that. Y'all know, like he said, sparks will fly if you try to cut it with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Just about, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll dull a blade.
Well, Misty, you titled our show talking about your chickens. Let's go into the chicken story.
That was only because I was trying to do a show because I felt bad because we've been neglecting doing them.
Yeah, but no, wait, look, let's talk about the
stories much more interesting than mine.
Well, we got some funny chicken stories.
Oh yeah, see with
But Misty's equipped with a video because she found an impression out there at her chicken pen that's really suspect. She won't say what it is. She can show you the video and y'all look at it.
I don't know.
Roll that bean footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll that bean footage. They'll call that the dumpling footage.
Wow.
And if I cuss, I apologize. I don't know. This was literally sent just to Greg and Roger and Peyton and Spencer.
Look how wide that is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have noticed it where it was dark if I hadn't have been out, and feeding, and it had snowed just a little bit.
Oh, it had snowed. Y'all got a little dusting.
Yeah.
Just barely. It was absolutely freezing. It went like 20-something, 30 degrees difference overnight. And so I was out there working on getting the chickens fixed up, and it was snowing on me right as I was finishing it up. And this is the next day. It had got dark before I could make that feed.
Look at the depth right there. Good job.
Yeah.
Are you laying on the ground taking video of that?
No, I'm squatted down trying to hold my phone, and y'all, my phone is older and dinosaur shit, and so.
Is that next to a window or anything where it could see in, or?
No, this is right in front of my greenhouse.
Okay.
I don't know why it stopped. It's not even going to play the rest of it.
But you said it. You found some quote gifts. Is that what y'all were talking about earlier?
Let's see if it'll try it again. See if it'll play it. Wendell, I don't know. I didn't even, honestly, I should have measured it. I didn't. I took pictures with my foot beside of it. It was absolutely freezing. I didn't have any gloves or anything on. I had just run out there to make sure that the chickens had put themselves up because I had changed where they were. I was afraid they was going to get really cold. So I just seen it while I was out there, and it's right in front of a door. And the funny thing about it is it's the gate that goes from my green. Okay, how do I explain this? My greenhouse has got a little garden area on each side. Well, one of them I've got completely gated in, and that's where they are.
Yes. Look. This is.
I may show it in this. I'm not
People
sure.
need to actually pick up on it the way I'm seeing it. Maybe.
And it makes sense that will be a right foot being close to the building there, and the other foot being somewhere else. It looks like a right foot.
There was.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
There was more to the video. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I had cropped and sent to you guys. So I can only send so much of it at a time, and I must not have uploaded both parts of it. But give me just a second.
Was it rained a little bit before it snowed, didn't
it? Barely, not much at all. It we just got it was almost like a sleet, and then just snowed just a little bit.
Pine knot. I was thinking the same thing, and I didn't say it. He's wanting to know why there's, if something's standing there with body heat for a amount of time, and that little bit, it may not have. Yeah.
Well, it could have stepped there after the snow had fell, and it melted the snow when it stepped on.
Exactly. I did know it. Thanks for bringing it up. I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking the same thing. Dang, where'd he go?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to go back through the comments.
Did you bring us one, Peyton?
Yeah.
Hey.
Bree's dog is like a cat. I ain't never seen a dog on schedule to be fed. And if you don't have food in her bowl by 9 o'clock, she is scratching at the door.
Well, I do.
That's
the same
what I don't
thing.
know if y'all heard it, but she was over there pawing at the door, and I was like, "What does she want?" She just went outside.
Where is she at right now?
Bree?
Yeah,
she's in Orlando. It's her sister's birthday, so she wanted to go to. She wanted to go to Epcot and spend her 21st birthday going around the world doing all the.
That's cool.
Wow.
Well, what's so weird about it though is, I mean,
it's crazy. How long had that been there when it had been snowing?
Well, I had just been out the night before and there was nothing there. But hang on, I'll tell you what the date was. Give me just a second. I didn't, like I said, I didn't measure. I'll see if I can upload the picture of my foot beside of it. It was, if I had to guess just by looking at it, what would Jens think by the picture I sent? Probably at least 18, 19 inches.
14 fun size Snickers, maybe.
Well, I know my boots are huge. 7 honey buns and a Slim Jim.
No doubt.
I'll quit. Hey, you go get us kicked off, Misty. Quit talking like that.
Yeah, that footprint's 2.5 honey buns long.
Do you have any missing eggs? That's a good question. Can squat?
That's the thing. I actually didn't think that I did, but apparently I have been because I've got certain chickens that I know that lays, and I know where they lay because I've got it's hard to explain. I've got them divided out because I've got certain ones in certain
Misty
places.
Chicken math. It ain't gonna add up no matter how you explain it.
Your chicken math don't work. So.
Yes. It's chicken math. It's called poultry science.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. I stepped in it. Hold on. Everything's moving so quick. I can't keep up with it. I stepped as hard as I could and stomped on the ground. Somebody asked about rain for the track being mashed down.
Katie
But I
G,
stomped on the ground and you couldn't even see where I had stomped down on it.
better shot than goat math.
Yeah.
That damn goat was pregnant for 18 months.
Shoot, that's called some midget goats.
Yeah. Takes a little more time.
I'm wondering if something's getting the eggs and not messing with the chickens. If there is something out there, I'm not claiming anything, but the reason I say this is because y'all know, if you watched the show and you watched Halloween, you know, we dressed up and I dressed up like a Viking. I know this sounds stupid. Y'all don't come at me for this because I know how crazy it sounds.
Spit it
I
out.
don't even want to tell it. All right. I wound up actually getting, and this is the thing, it's been by 5:30, it's dark here, you know, and so by the time I get my milking done and everything else, it's been hard for me to make it outside and do my evening feeding and be out there before it actually gets dark, or to gather eggs or whatever. And so this stuff may have been out there for a day or two. I don't know. But I know it wasn't there before, because this is literally in my garden that I'm in every single day, multiple times a day. My chickens are in there. And on the same day, I find this when I'm out the next day when it's daylight. Now,
is that a button?
This, I know what this is. This is all from a bridle. This very well could have came out of our barn. But if it did, I have tilled that area. I have changed garden beds. I've done everything in that area. It's been raked multiple times. And for that and this little toy to just show up at the same time, tell me that don't look like some kind of little shield or something. This is off one of the bridles. And there's no telling how old it is.
Well, the thing is, as much as you're out there, you know where every blade of grass is, right? So if something shows up, right, that's not supposed to be there. And I don't know.
She tested all that grass.
I thought that was a hook where you yank Spencer off the show if you need to.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm waiting on the He-Man action figure to show up next.
Yeah.
Get this, though. This is the funny thing about it, and y'all know that too, because where it's at is where that track was actually at.
What? Wow.
Same area, and in with my little silkies. Now, my little silkies are my favorites. Like, they are, if you've ever had chickens and you've had little silkies, they're like little pets. They can't fly. They feel like a rabbit or something. They don't even feel like feathers. They feel more like hair or fur or something. And they're awesome. They got little feathery feet. They're just cute as can be. Y'all, this was literally laying right in front of the roost.
Have you got some
roost? One was over here and one was over here, but this one was laying just dead in front of it, and this was over to the side right there. Now, how would I not have seen that? I have to walk through my gate to get in there.
Right.
Look, I've got it. You've got Teenage Mutant Ninja chickens.
Yeah. Is that not what it seems like? Tell me though. Like, here's some cosplay toys for you little chickens, or like they were in their play. I'm not saying they. I shouldn't even have said that, because I know they're not going to be in their home playing with the chickens. But I mean, tell me
Brian,
that's not chicken-sized toys.
Brian said the little people were at war in your yard. That's funny.
That's crazy. I know. I'm telling you. I'm sorry.
Bull, you're right. It was gifting you back for the eggs. That's the price. What's the price of eggs in White Pine?
No doubt.
How funny is that, though? I mean, seriously, like, I've got a green egg layer that lays in there. That it stays completely clean and it's full of shavings. And I've got a nesting area over in one corner. Oh, just, because the way it's built, it stays in the
like
dry.
That gift would be like me stealing your TV and leaving you a shoelace to be like, appreciate it. Thanks, bud.
Maybe it wasn't for me. Maybe it was to the chickens or something, because the secret life of chickens.
To the chickens.
I know, y'all. I'm telling you.
Well, that's
Look.
one thing. One thing you don't want mad at you is a mama hen. So the Bigfoot even.
I don't trust them because their eyes are too human-like.
The chickens.
Look,
Hell yeah, you look at one and it's looking back up at you with that little beady human eyeball.
she'll have a damn cockfight out there, and it'll be damn slinging Judy's.
Walk around with a half-cocked Judy all times.
Yep. You
Yes.
have one of them. He have that little spear wrapped around his leg. Be whooping
Hitting
him.
Yeah.
pot lickers.
No doubt. Got to be careful of the pot lickers.
I'm telling you. Listen, I know
Robin-
it sounds crazy.
Robin Ray.
But
That's a good thought. I'm kind of outside the box thinking. I like. Robin Ray says, I wonder if Bigfoot could be intelligent enough to understand the principle of chickens needing to remain alive to consistently lay eggs. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean,
Probably.
midgets.
Please
dropping
tell,
the-
I
look,
don't know.
Roger.
Yeah.
You know that looks like you got that hook thing, some type of medieval ninja weapon, and that other one's kind of like a shield.
Yeah.
You know, she's probably got both those attached to her Spencer voodoo doll now.
Oh, that's where it came from. But whoop. It might not be where it came from, but that's where it's going.
No doubt.
Sharpen the end of it and poke.
I don't want to know where you put the hook.
No doubt.
Yeah,
Jeff,
some
you
of
can-
them's not right now. I've got some that's older, but I just keep them.
We had a African gray for a while. Peyton remembers that dude, and I finally figured him out. He was so smart. He would trick you. He would play the long game. If you got mad at him, he would be all nice and sweet for 4 or 5 months. Then he'd bite the hell out of you. He'd get in close. But Peyton's dog, Bendy, come in one time when she first met this bird, and that African gray looked over and said, "Come here." And I'm like, "No, don't go over there." She went over and it bit her right on the nose. They tore the house down. So then I recognized, like, when he would be on my arm or whatever, he'd be all sweet. Well, if he cocked that head up like that and that human looking eye like he's talking about, if that pupil dilated, he was fixing to bite you in the next 1 second. And yeah, he was a mean bastard. But anyway.
Yeah, that Misty, you may have some of them damn little tiny little people or fairies out there. It might be their weapons.
Listen,
Oh,
this comment that Robin just said, that made me think of what happened to Sherry when she was little, because she used to see I can't even say it. I can't say that word. A jester.
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 You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Hard T jester.
Like the
Not the
thing
hard T.
Damn it.
Not good with teeth.
Look, you can bet they went to that Episcopal church too.
Wearing their moccasins.
Yeah.
What was they wearing?
Moccasins.
Moccasins. Moccasins.
They probably had a church function. They ate a whole bunch of biscotti.
Oh God, y'all.
Collecting
So-
eggs in his 5-gallon basket.
Y'all,
So look, y'all, TV is so it can mess you up when you're younger, right? I grew up. Did anybody ever see the Ragu commercial where they're picking the spaghetti off the trees?
Yes.
Y'all remember that? I grew up. It was like 5 years. I thought they were picking spaghetti off. That's where it came from. I'm like, no, you dummy. My daddy, he laughed.
Oh,
Oh, I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself, right? But I did, and my mind, the way my mind worked. I know this is dumb. When I was like in second grade, when we had the toys, farm animals, like the kids would get, whatever, play school, whatever. I thought the horse was the male and the cow was the female, and the same way with the dogs and cats. I don't know where that come from. But
from Spencer, he's been teaching your farm animals.
Greg said
Yeah.
Don't milk that cow.
No, no.
You got
Hey,
mad.
look. Are you even from Appalachia? If you don't know at least a couple of people that pronounce the word milk, but it's got an N in it, and then if they wash
Milk.
something, they wash it.
Well, yeah, wash, but that's different.
Oh,
Butter
Wash
milk.
rag.
butter. I got a closet full of wash rags. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? So Emmett, y'all heard me tell the story about Emmett. He couldn't talk too plain. He's a good guy, but he stopped learning. He made it to a 4-year-old, and then he stopped. He's probably about he. So he. I think I told this story before, but mom and dad had this country store, and in the country store, you'd eat your little pecan pie and drink your milk, drink your sundrop or whatever, and then or beans, and you'd come up and tell the person at the register what you had. Right? What'd you have? Well, I had one of them pecan pies. I had this, that. That's the way it was back in the late 70s. People
Yes,
trusted
yes.
each other, right?
We had a little store here not till, I guess, probably about 3-4 years ago or whatever. You could do that. You'd go in, place your order, go back, sit down, eat your food and all that. And you didn't even have to pay till afterwards. If you got a cake or whatever off the shelf, you just took your wrapper and everything up there with you. Shit,
Yeah.
you can't do that no more.
Yep. Hillary, yeah, I probably will. Sorry. But so Emmett, it's the first time Daddy met him, but he knew his brother. And Emmett couldn't talk plain. And so Billy, his brother, knew what was coming. And he let Emmett walk up there. Billy paid for his stuff. And Daddy said, first time he ever met him, he said, "What'd you have?" He said, "I had eaten that nook." Daddy looked at Emmett and he looked at Billy for help. And Billy just kind of nodded, asked him again. Well, what was that, Emmett? He said, "I had eaten that nook." He said, eater snacks, the crackers? Uh-huh. So he rung him up. What was that other one? He said, nook. What? Nook. He said, I don't know what you're saying. Nook, feet nook, butter nook, chocolate nook.
Oh my God.
And I couldn't get that man to say milk. I tried all my life. I'm like, Emmett, we'd be in there at the store by ourselves. Said, Emmett, say, He go, And I say, ilk. And I say, milk. He said, milk. And I'm like, no, that's not what.
Hey, tell him about the time that he said, I gotta go. We're gonna busy.
Yeah, I told that at the
Did
meet
you?
and greet LBL. He was sitting there. Yeah. Emmett, there's a farmer in there with me. Emmett's sitting there calm as can be. And when he got scared, he'd run. So when he jumped up panicking, me gotta go. It was a cool day, not a cloud in the sky, no rain, no participation, Misty.
Yeah.
And and I know some of y'all I guess missed that because you wasn't at the LBL. So he jumps up off the ice cream cooler and starts looking around, saying, "Me dad go home, me dad go home. It's gonna come a blizzard, And Travis looked at me and I said, What's he doing? Travis stepped in front of the door because we'd seen that before and we didn't want him to run out in the highway, right? He was scared. So I said, Emmett, what's going on? Me dad go home. We got to go home now. It's gonna come a blizzard. And I said, It ain't gonna do nothing, Emmett. He said, Y'all, within a minute, we couldn't see the first gas pumps. There was a down blast of cold air and dry snow, like hurricane winds. I thought it was going to take the canopy away. Piled up snow over on the other side of the parking lot, and me and Travis are looking at each other like, what in the hell is happening? Should we be scared? And it stopped. And I was like, Emmett, how did you know that was about to happen? Don't know. He won't Travis take him home. He said, yeah, I'll take you home. And Travis would look at me. He's like pale as a ghost. And it happened again. And I couldn't see out the windows. The snow was blowing so hard, like one of those microbursts. I didn't know what it was at the time. How does that happen? And the other story I told that, people hadn't heard, the people that were there heard it. But yeah, I can do a pretty good Emmett impression. Michael, the guy that lives here, he's a little older than me. He's deaf. He's been deaf all his life. And he's never heard a human voice. He has some sign language that's real, but then we have our own. And then a lot of times he carries a pad with him and he'll write it down. He used to clean up my yard at the beginning of the year every year. And he was riding one day, and he asked me about if I knew where this abandoned house was at. I'm like, yeah. They were selling it, and he was going to go mow and weed eat and clean it up. But Michael didn't know boundaries. Okay. I got a lot of stories about Michael. Michael saw something, he thought it was his, he just walked off with it, and he ended up in trouble a few times. But he wrote on this piece of paper, he went into that house, the door was open, and he did like that right there. It was dark, no lights. And he was telling me about cold, and then he started going. And I'm like, what is this? He wrote down he heard voices telling him to get out. Now, the fact that that was in his head is one thing, but it hit me like he's never heard a human voice. I said, how many? He's like, several, and they're all around him. And I said, what'd you do? This is universal language. he ran out of there. Now, y'all tell me how a man that's never heard of human voice in his life would know what a human voice would sound like.
That it's the vibration. My uncle is deaf. He's been deaf since he was probably a year old, I guess. I don't know. He got a spinal meningitis, and it burnt the nerve endings in his ear with a really high fever. And so he was never even old enough to learn how to talk. I mean, he obviously heard their voice whenever he was little, but he can tell music, like he can dance and everything to the beat, because he can feel it way more than what we can. And he can tell the difference in the tones and everything just by how it feels. Like he said, he can just feel it all over. Yeah.
And Michael's the same way, because when we were in pep rallies in school, he put his head up against the 8-inch blocks because he could feel the vibration. Yeah. But he's never heard a voice. I've screamed at him like, "Damn it, Michael!" Like I do Wendell, and he don't know you there. But wait a minute, go up. You got to do this. Pine Knot Yoder, his you got to highlight this about the West Virginia right there.
Oh, I did.
Roger, did you grow up in West Virginia, Whitaker family? No, but you're making fun of Hillary's family. Hillary's kin to him. Hillary, tell them. That's some of her kinfolk. I didn't even know who they were. Watch it, Roger. Yeah. But I mean, to hear voices telling him to get out, I could have screamed at the top of my lungs right beside him, telling him to get out, and he wouldn't know what I was saying.
Well, maybe it wasn't a voice that he heard. I mean, he might have heard it, but maybe he heard it in his head. Like I ain't gonna say nothing. You already think I'm.
No, I know what you're saying. Peyton had Peyton's never been into any of that, but the day he was looking at that doe through the scope and that thing started either pounding his chest or whatever, tell him what you heard in your head. He said it wasn't a voice, but it was a thought that come in. You remember that? Like, I'm here, don't shoot.
Yep.
I felt like it. I didn't necessarily hear it, but it was like, yeah. Now, there was, before you ever went out there, well, you went out there with me. Did you go out there with me the very first time?
The first time I went is when we had the rock thrown. So,
okay, well, this was after that, when I was next to the pond, not far from where the rock was thrown. And I was walking beside that pond on the other side of it, going down it's not a hill, it's not a creek, it's like more of drainage. But I heard,
oh yeah,
in like, it was like an adolescent male's voice, like it was young, like they sounded like it was 13, 14, said, "This creek will make a good spot." And I'm like, hold up, what? And I looked up and I'm listening for people to see if I can hear walking and talking, because nobody's supposed to be there but me, especially during deer season. My uncle, tells people, don't go out there. He does have some younger nephews that have camped out there, but they wouldn't have been out there during deer season. And I was like, "Hey, is anybody there?" And I didn't hear anything. I listened. You hear somebody running away. You ain't gonna run far because you've been running uphill. That was weird.
And the thing was, that place is, it's mixed with cedars in one part, but a lot of hardwoods. And when it gets dry like it was when he was there, you can't move. You better get into your stand. Somebody asked what this group was about and channel.
Oh,
This is
that's what I was doing. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is an extra show. Misty and Greg do the Woodwalkers with Spencer, and we're just doing the extra night hours just for fun and just like sitting on the porch talking.
Stick around, we'll teach you how to make butternut.
Yeah.
Misty will.
We missed the show today, so we were just trying to do a makeup show for this evening.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on a second.
Ken, are there any big?
That's what I was trying to highlight. Yeah. There it goes.
Yeah. Yep. I know. Oh, Peyton bought me what brand is it? Walker?
They're Walkers.
The Walker headphones for when we're shooting. You can turn them up and you can talk to each other. And when the gun goes off, it don't hurt your ears.
Like the hunter's ears.
Yeah. Well, I took those out to the Booger Woods with me and Peyton and Heather Friday night, and it was incredible what we could hear. I think I'm gonna use them for that. I know Patrick told me he has some. I think Yarrington has some, and Peyton, we need to hear all your experiences. I don't think he can tell all of them. Yeah, how many times you been hunting? I've had that happen a few times.
I'm gonna run and get my charger real quick for my iPad.
All right,
y'all are killing
it. Y'all are killing it. Oh man, yeah, and so we talk about when we get serious, we talk about Bigfoot and stuff, but this is kind of a relaxed setting with everybody.
We have talked about Bigfoot tonight, son.
Yeah, you can go back and watch the beginning of it.
We usually do guests on the day show.
On Sundays at 1:30.
Is there anybody in here who hadn't heard the dog story?
Tell that one.
Oh, probably some folks in there hadn't heard your black dog story.
I think Spencer, that gave him the heebie-jeebies.
Gave him the heebie-jeebies. Hell, gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pine Knot's being nice.
Yeah. Pine Knot hangs in there with us like a rusty fish hook, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, ain't much tougher than a pine knot.
Patrick Noble won't know how big my deer was. Killed an 8-point. That one deer I killed, Patrick, ended up it weighed 204 pounds, which for North Alabama is a pretty good sized deer.
That's big for down here.
That's big anywhere in the southeast.
Yep.
He was one of them. He had the sway back and the big chest and neck. He was an old deer.
Tammy says she didn't hear the dog story. So this is how Spencer works. He's sneaky. We were at the LBL. Peyton hadn't told too many. He told the story on Woodwalkers a couple years ago, I guess. And then at the LBL, Cam was beside us, and he told Cam to get Peyton to tell his dog story on Dixie Cryptids. So I don't even know. It's not a episode on its own. It's a parts, stories and stuff. Go ahead. I'll be quiet.
Well, this was all right. So this was before any of this, before him, Daddy, getting interested in Bigfoot again and all that. So like anything that you would think now wasn't even in my head. So like trying to figure out what it was or cope with that was strange all on its own. But so it was me and a buddy. We had another guy with us, but he was in the back seat with his girlfriend and they were talking and stuff, so they weren't really paying much attention to us. But me and my buddies, we were driving down the road and we come up on this, we're going around this place. It's called New Lake, and is that New Lake Road right there?
Yeah.
So we're on the side where the dam's at, so it kind of goes up, and it's kind of a dangerous curve if you don't know about it, because it goes up and at the same time switches back like a roller coaster or something when you're coming down. But we were coming down through there, and it was nighttime. It was in the middle of the summer, so I don't even remember what year this was. Probably anywhere from 2017 to 2019, and we're just riding around listening to the radio. Me and him are talking. He was telling me about some strange things that they had seen on their farm. The 1010, a light they saw every day,
every night.
Yeah. Well, we're coming around this curve, and it's a back road, but it's got a double yellow line in it, so it's a wide back road. And there's this dog sitting. If I'm looking this way, it's looking directly 90 degrees that way, and it's sitting right in the middle of the yellow line. And it's, pointed triangle ears, pointed up. And then as we're getting closer and the lights are painting on it, it turns its head and looks straight at us. And first thing I noticed is it ain't got no hair. Then when it turned, there was no eye shine. And then the longer I looked, we're slowing down, so I'm looking at it. I've come up in the seat, and I'm actually looking at it now. And it didn't have any eyeballs. It was, you could see the skin in the back of the eye socket. And at first I'm like, oh damn, that's somebody's dog. That's unlucky bastard. Like whatever. Well, it takes 2 or 3 little trotting steps to get across the road, and it jumps. And the grass on the side of the road is probably about chest high, waist to chest high. And when the first half of its body got into the grass, it turned into like a black smoke. And of course, I'm like, did I just see that? Whatever. And my buddy asked me, he's like, did you just see that? And I'm like, what did you see? He said, that effing dog just turned to smoke. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what I got from it. Let's just get out of here.
Was that before your granddaddy and uncle passed away close together?
I believe it was.
Yeah. He talked to a man at work.
It was great granddaddy on my birthday, uncle, granddad, all within almost 3. Great granddaddy died May 30th on my birthday, and then August 27th, 26th, 27th, it was uncle, and then October, I want to say 15th, October 8th of 2016.
So that gives you the timeline. I think it was before that, but I'm not sure. Were you in high school at the time? Because you graduated.
I just graduated. I think we had just graduated. That year, that summer, I graduated.
Okay, so that puts it 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a man at work, a Native American man. You asked him about it, and he said,
he turned around and said, "Hell no, I ain't talking to you about that. Don't talk about it. We ain't discussing that." And I was like, "All right, dude."
But he didn't tell me right away, Greg. He waited for a little bit, and he said,
"It was wow."
I said, "I got to talk to you about something."
I wouldn't want to tell nobody.
No, but so you said took you a while to kind of get over it or whatever. I mean,
hey, I tell you, I just saw a dog turn to smoke, and it didn't have no eyeballs, and it's 8 feet from us. It's 8 foot. It's probably 8 feet away from the truck when it did it. So it's not like I'm just like might have seen
optical illusion.
It wasn't foggy outside. So I mean,
I'd probably went the next 12 months and not drank nothing but holy water.
Yeah, it's.
I think a lot of us have seen some kind of like smoke or shadows that seems to kind of turn into something like, I guess, kind of dissipate into what looks like smoke or vanishing. I don't even know. You seen that at LBL. We all kind of caught a glimpse of something in the truck with Greg one night. I've seen stuff out here at my she shed. I ain't seen nothing like that in probably, I guess it's probably been a couple of years now. But there for maybe a month, I had stuff like that about 3 or 4 times in a month happen. So
And Crystal's point is, she says sometimes you got to go over it in your head thinking, am I losing it? And that's right. And when you have multiple witnesses with you that can confirm, it helps.
Oh yeah.
But, there's things that have happened with me and Heather, and I see something and she don't, and she's looking right at it, and so I don't know. Saw a bipedal black critter.
That's one of the things, right? Like y'all just talked about, having somebody to back you up on all that stuff, and that's why I'm so thankful. I mean, lost my best friend, adopted brother this summer, Alan, but I had so many encounters that Alan was right there with me, and it wasn't just me trying to explain to people what happened. I had him sitting right here to back up everything I was telling them, and and that made it a whole lot easier on me trying to explain to people the stuff that I'd went through. And I am so thankful, because he went a long time. He didn't, like on our podcast on Woodwalkers, he didn't want no part of it. And then I finally got him to start coming on with me some. And y'all, I mean, it just amazing that I can go back and watch those videos now. And, it eases it a lot, him being gone, being able to look at that and those videos. And, Spencer brought it up the other day. If it hadn't been for Katie G, and I owe her a debt that I'll never be able to repay, but her being willing to come out on our podcast and be brave enough to get on here and talk about her encounters, that was when Alan really, it gave him the bravery, I guess you'd say, to come on here and talk about him seeing the one right here on my porch. And because he didn't want to talk about it, but after Katie got on and Alan, that's what made him decide that he would tell his story. And if it hadn't been for her, coming on and doing what she done, I would have never got it recorded. What he's witnessed right here.
Right, and that was close. That was
And another crazy thing is the dude in the back seat who was preoccupied with his girlfriend. They're in the back, and it's a Dodge Durango, so it's a pretty big vehicle. They didn't even see it, but we were telling them, and he didn't doubt us because he lives in this old house. I mean, it's so old the ceilings are like 6.5 feet tall. Like I'll walk through and it's like the ceilings are right here. And he for the longest wouldn't sleep in his room, and his mom's like, "Why are you? I got you a bed, sleep in your bed." And he's like, "No, there's what it was is there was this it'd be like at least 3 times a week he'd see this black, he said it wasn't a ball, it was a black thing of smoke, and it would come through his room, and then it would get to the middle and it'd shoot to his closet. Well, his mom thought he was crazy. Well, his room sits right here, and then the only bathroom in the house is through his room. So his mom got up one night to go to the bathroom and had to walk in his room, and she cut the light on, and it's in the middle of the room, and it goes to his closet. Well, she wakes him up. I just saw it. He's like, I know, I've been telling you, like, y'all didn't believe me. And so there's that. And then there's one night, me and him, I stayed at his house. We were going deer hunting the next morning. I was sleeping on an air mattress, and his brother texted him, "Hey, leave the door open, or leave the front door unlocked. I'm going to be coming home later." I don't know if he was at a party or whatever. Well, we heard the front door like him trying to open it, and we were like, "What's going on with him?" We didn't know if it was him or not. And he comes around the back door, and he opens the back door. "You assholes, why'd you leave the front door unlocked or whatever?" And we're like, "We didn't." Why did you leave the front door locked? I told you not to lock it. And we were like, "We didn't." And we went around there, and just from that side ever so easily, he said it felt like somebody was holding it. The door opened this way inside the house, and he felt like somebody was pushing against it, and he thought it was us messing with him. We're like, "Dude, we were in the bedroom on the other side of the house, the complete opposite side of the house, and the back door actually was like straight across the hall from his room." So
there's a good question. Did anybody ever inspect the closet or did you
No,
stay away from it?
not well. I say no, but I don't know. I don't. I mean,
What?
I
There's two things I'd like to add to this. First off, my ass wouldn't have been over there sleeping on no damn air mattress, period. Second
I
off,
didn't know about it. He's telling me this. I'm learning all this that night, and I'm like, what do I do? I didn't drive here.
well, the second
Call my
part of
mom.
this scenario, the second part of this scenario would have been we would have cleaned house because I'd have washed that whole place with gas and dried it with a match.
Hey, well, in some of these older houses, you know, you feel kind of.
Oh,
feel
I got a
certain way.
crazy one. That one, someone just commented rattles. So I've got this friend. We had a friend group, and like there was
Mr.
this
Chips.
couple. Yeah, there was
Yeah.
this friend, and he was the girl. Him and the girl were in the friend group. They're married now. They've been dating since like 8th grade or something. But her dad was her mom was at the time married to this dude. I think he's a politician in Lewisburg or something. But they had this big old antebellum house in the middle of Lewisburg. And she said when they first moved in, there wasn't all that was in there was her boxes of her stuff. And her bed and her box spring was the only thing set up at the time. Well, every night she'd hear what sounded like a chip bag rattling. And she'd crawl under the bed and look, and she thought it was a mouse or something eating something under her bed. And she said, I'd get under the bed and look with my phone light, and there wouldn't be nothing there. Crawl back in bed, and you'd hear again. And she's like, what is going on? What is that? Well, anyway, she was like, whatever, it's a ghost. We're going to name him Chip. And people would come over, and the bag would start rattling. She said, that's just Chip. Don't worry about him. He ain't going to hurt nothing. Well, I wasn't there for this. But one of her friends brought a Ouija board over and said, Are you here? Yes. Are you? I don't know what people feel about Ouija boards, but this is what she said. Are you dangerous or are you mean or whatever? No. What is your name? It went to EBIN, Eben, which translates, she looked up Eben name, which translates to stone in what's that? It's like everything translates from it. What's it called?
Like Hebrew?
No, hold on. I'll look it up. I'll look it up right here.
But and Greg, later they found this house is pre-Civil War probably.
Hold on, don't ruin the story.
Okay.
Come on, Roger. Get with the program.
So it's a masculine. Yeah, it's a masculine Hebrew origin, meaning stone or rock, symbolizing strength and stability. Well, they got to looking, and in the yard was rocks all over the place, and they noticed where there was a bolt where like a chain would be, and they figured out that that's where they tied slaves to back in this pre-Civil War probably. But that's where, so I mean, that's crazy. And then there's actually a like a slave burial, a slave cemetery on the property too.
And they didn't know all that.
And they didn't know all that until she started looking into it. And there's actually another room to the house, but nobody knows where it's at because the owner before knocked the door down. It was a cellar room, like cut the door out and hardwood over it. So you wouldn't you'd have to actually rip up all the floors in the whole house to know where the room to the cellar was. So there's shit under the house probably that who knows? I mean,
tell them about when you were at your mom's house that night. Y'all were watching TV, and they had an island in the kitchen, and you could see through from the living room. And there was a phone case sitting on that. Tell them what happened that night.
Okay, so let's go. Let's start. So when my uncle passed away, you know the little video that they give you where you watch the pictures from the funeral home and stuff? Yeah. My mom would watch that, and I was there every time it happened, just about. When she would watch it, because her and my uncle were super close, and he died suddenly of a stroke going down the road. And every time she would play the video, this is a brand new DVD player, dude. Like, she would start crying, and the video would start skipping. And any other time it would work until she started crying. Well, one day that happened, and my dog Gracie, she's Mama's dog now, but she's a little Jack Russell, smartest dog I've ever seen, hands down. And this dog, she looked up and like she was following something across the living room, and I'm noticing it, and Mama's like fiddling with the VCR or the DVD player, and right above my room, like right here on the door on the wall was a smoke detector. Well, the smoke detector was fine, and then the light started like flashing like that, and then it just stopped. And so that happened, and then me and Mama were sitting in the living room one time. So from the living room, it's not necessarily an open floor plan. There's still a wall between the living room and the kitchen, but there's a big entryway to the kitchen. Like, I mean, it's probably 6 feet, 7 feet wide. And so you can see probably half of the kitchen from if you're sitting in the right spot in the living room. And me and her were both sitting on the wall looking at the TV, which was on the same wall as the kitchen. And you know those flip phone cases that you clip to your hip or whatever that we all had? There was one of those sitting on the counter, and it literally was sitting there and like shot off into the middle of the kitchen. And me and her both saw that, and I was like, what was that?" She's like, "I don't know. I didn't even see anything. There wasn't nothing over there because she just happened to be looking over there, and I saw the phone case fly across the kitchen." And fast forward to whenever Venus was born, I was at Mama's. So what, 3 years ago? Yeah. I was at Mama's. My sister had just had her baby, and like this was like 2 days, 3 days after. No, it was the next day actually, because she was still at the hospital, and Mama and my stepdad are sitting there. They're watching Sanford and Son, and it's an episode where somebody was in court about something, and I could hear something funny happen, and then the audience behind the camera like laughing or whatever, and then I start hearing a baby crying. I'm like, oh, I didn't know Keely and Venus were home yet, so I go in the living room. I hadn't went in the living room yet. I'm like, where's you didn't tell me that she was here, that the baby was here. She's like, she's not. I'm like, y'all didn't just hear that baby crying. No. I'm like, rewind the TV so that I can see if there was anything that sounded like nope. There was nothing that sounded like a baby crying. There was nothing. Well, it happened again. This time the baby is in her daddy's arms. Keely's sitting right beside him. I'm standing up. Mama's sitting on this side of me. And 3 times we hear a baby cry. And Mama's like, "You hear that baby crying?" Yeah, but it's outside. I'm like, that's exactly what I heard the other day. And y'all didn't believe me. Y'all were trying to say it was a cat downstairs. Like, the cat didn't do that. So everybody heard that. Dude, there's been some weird stuff happening in her house, and it's not even that old, so I don't even know why, if it's just the place or.
Well,
But
your
I mean,
mama's
it's
house
not
is
that
old.
it's probably what 120 yards from Mama's house in the woods is that old wagon trail that you can that you can follow all the way across the county.
Yep.
Probably the land then.
And we found, of course, me and Peyton explore, and sometimes we explore over the fence line. Sometimes
I'll be
we
right back. This dog's wanting to go out again. He got sidetracked. I'm sorry, we've got a muskrat outside, and so he wouldn't go to the bathroom. So I'll be right back.
See a
We-
muskrat.
Yeah, and they get out there, and when I take them out, and they get to smelling where it's come out at night, and then they won't do their business. But keep talking. I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
I found hunting. I don't know if this is what you were about to say, but I went, like you said, over the fence and on the next ridge, and I found these markers where the first rock would be like this big, and then they get smaller as it goes up. And like I found 2 or 3 of those on top of the other ridge.
and Greg, they're sandstone, and they've got carvings in them that I don't know. It's not like Jebediah lives or died here, blah blah blah. It's just it's symbols in these. I wanted so bad to go over there and scrape off some of the moss and try to read it, but
Yeah.
Hey, Peyton, if you can get us permission to go look over there, we might can go get pictures of those stones. And if you follow off down in the hollow, we were walking down in there, and I'm like, Peyton, is this a walkway? There are rocks placed, them flat shell type rocks, and we found a spring, Greg, that was a nice spring back there where a house used to be.
About the size of a king size bed,
Wow.
about 2 foot deep at the deepest, and just in the side of this hill. Like the hill come down both sides, and then it was a spring, and then kind of got flat for a minute, and then went back up another stone.
If we can get permission to step over that and not say why, get some pictures of those rocks. That's bugged me. That's been years since we saw that, but I think about that every now and then.
Man.
But some of the growing up in a haunted, or not growing up in a haunted, living in a haunted house early on, and then other things happening in old houses. I'm like Greg. I don't like it. I'm leery of it.
Well, you remember the time that I called you and I was feeding the horses and I heard that big limb break up across the road and the horses got around me like Dixie and Jack went here and then Annie was behind me. They surrounded me and wouldn't let me leave.
And I've seen.
And then I remember I called you one night, and at the time I was like, I think a deer just chased a mountain lion just chased a deer into the side of the house, because I was sleeping and I heard boom on the side of on the front of the house, and I got up and was looking with my light and gun and everything. I didn't see nothing. It freaked me out, but who knows what that was? That was loud. I forgot about that until now.
Well, Crystal, the reason I don't want to tell the owners because they might go up there and remove the rocks before we get a chance to look at them. Yeah, Sasquatch, that's a good idea. Peyton, look on your hunting app in the where the spring is and see if there's anything that stands out down there, because that pathway, I mean, it was covered in dirt, right? And I started seeing these stones. You see one stone, that's one thing, but I started looking. I said, this pathway is leading to something or away from something, and we followed it. We followed it right to the spring. But the thing is, it lets you know how hard times were. Somebody was walking with buckets to that spring and all the way back to somewhere else.
At one point, somebody had water pipe into it, because there's old brittle PVC pipe, like going up a hill down to that spring and
Moonshine.
up the other side. So yeah, somebody's making liquor.
No, that noise a while ago was my cell phone. My cell phone fell off this table and hit the floor.
He kicked it.
Yeah, I was trying to take my darn Timberland boots off and bumped this table my computer's on, and down went my telephone. Now, if it'd been a booger at the wall, I would have told you.
I left. I don't know if I dropped him off one night, but to tell you how steep it is immediately after you leave his house, you go around a 90. Everybody has them, but we have our devil's backbone, right? And you go up and it's steep, and you get up on top. Well, I was going up that road one night, probably 11 o'clock or midnight or whatever, and I'm by myself, and there's big trees on the side of the road and up. And it's really clean place. The guy keeps it cleaned off really good. Middle of nowhere. I look up and I thought, who in the hell put one of those driveway red marker lights up in that tree? It was just one. And I'm slowing down and looking at it, and at the angle I'm going up and I'm trying to get down, and I drive past it, and now the bank is up above where I can see where the fence is. So I go up, I didn't see any limbs. So I go up and I turn around, find me a spot to turn around. I come back creeping back down, and I can't see a limb that anything would have been on. And then I turn around and come back, and it's not there. That's the biggest red I thought it was a reflector marker for a driveway. It's not. I've never seen it again. I don't know what it was. I can't say what it was. But hearing some of these stories, and having stuff happen, we can imagine what it might have been. But I mean, that's nothing. That's all the story is. Yeah.
I remember Peyton,
look at a LiDAR map.
I was thinking that. I got Spartan Forge. You can look on. There's LiDAR map on that. I'll get on there and look. You remember last week when I called you and in the spout, not far from the spot you saw the eyes, I think I called you and Spencer, you and Greg about it. When I was driving on top of the hill going to Mama's,
Yeah.
I was looking, there was two deer and they were going this way and then they went back across the road. So I was going slow and I saw what I thought was headlights ahead of me. So I kind of started easing and slowing down because it was like that whitish blue light. And all of a sudden it looked like you put a damn glow in the dark baseball in a Chuck It toy and slung it off the side of the hill and it shot through the trees at like a arcing angle, and I called you immediately after I seen
Yeah.
that shit.
Well, and y'all, we always talk about, is it the person, is it the place? I think it's a little of both. And there's been a lot of terrible stuff happen in the past down here, and I don't know whether it's energy left over or. But Misty, let me ask you this: when the sun, when we've seen the northern lights and all that, when all that energy, all the geomagnetic storms is going on, I said this on somebody's show. It felt like I had fire in my veins for a split second. It was running like I could tell it was running through my veins. And if it had lasted 10 seconds, I'd have jumped off the roof. But it lasted like a split second to maybe a second. And it was so bad. We have a therapeutic bed. And Heather was like, every time I turn that thing on and it vibrates, it'll wake her up. I went all night long. I was turning it on because it was helping with that. And somebody said, well, it could have been your pain pills. I ain't had none of them in months and months and months. But I was paying attention to it. And when the storms are over, it's quit. I ain't had any other episodes. Have you ever had any energy like that, Misty?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to keep the mic muted. The dog has decided to go crazy and is in here chasing his tail.
We don't
I was
care.
trying to run him off.
Hey,
But
Daddy, you
no,
remember?
I was just telling Greg about that earlier.
My friend,
Go ahead,
he
Peyton.
figured out that you were doing the podcast and everything. Um, he had told me before, and then I called him to see if he would want to tell you, and he's like, "No, man, I don't really want to go on. I don't want to tell nobody, but I'll leave his name out." Him and another one of my buddies were coon hunting one night, and their dog run down off in one of these bowls that we have all around where we live. And he said they got down off in there and they were hearing these big ass limbs breaking. And then he said it went from like breaking to like being hit against trees and popping trees. And like he said they could hear like, he said what sounded like jibber jabber on each side. And then like whoops and popping trees and all this stuff. He said they stayed with their back to a tree with their shotguns and 22s or whatever all night and didn't come out until they could see. And they were, one of them was like, "Oh, damn, those Bigfoot, whatever." And then my friend's like, "No, man, I think that was cows." Or I'm like, "Well, why'd you stay all night if it was cows?"
Well, and where he's talking about, if you go a few more miles south, you have that Delrose where there's been several, and then you're getting close to Flintville for the Flintville monster. So these ridges, once again, all of these ridges, I've been getting reports, Bigfoot reports, since I started doing this from, and it's always on these ridges. It's east, west, north. You'll have a few in the bottom part, close, but if you have it there's still hills there. But if they're in the Nashville Basin, the southern part of the Nashville Basin, there's always a combination of either train tracks or river, or and really rural area with no, hardly any houses. So I don't know. I guess it scares me to think about, like, as many people are moving here. There's a house close to our north end hotspot. I've told y'all before. That house was built in 2020. It's 2025, almost 26. It's been sold. It's changed hands 4 times. And it backs up to the land where we go boogering and had stuff happen. Now, that call we got before the show a couple weeks ago, was Heather's mom. The neighbor that lives close to there has been hearing. He didn't say big. He wasn't saying Bigfoot or anything. He said, "I've been hearing this hellacious sound, these screams that I've never heard before." And he's 70-something years old. So that's the night that we did the show. We loaded up and we went up there, and Peyton heard the 2 big footsteps across the gravel, and I started snapping pictures. So I talked to a expert, a camera expert, and I know we've all Misty. She's told me what she thinks it is or whatever. And I was like, "Hey, is this possible that this is a light anomaly or a camera, trick or whatever?" And he put it on his equipment. He said, "No, there's something there. It's not." So I don't know, but heels are heels. Nail.
No doubt. Nail.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, y'all look. We've held these folks up till 10:30 my time. We put in 2 hours. I guess unless we got something else, we let everybody get ready and go to work tomorrow.
What time is it?
It's Roger,
10:30.
it's not that I didn't think that they was nothing there. It's just that overlaid completely perfect. And I actually seen other stuff in a different spot than what you was seeing. I think Wendell might have been seeing the same thing I was seeing.
And it could be because the only thing that got me was I took like 7 pictures. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 is nothing. And I'm doing this like every minute or 2 minutes. When I got to that one and I showed Peyton, he said, "Oh shit, it's time to go." I snapped a couple more just to make sure, and there's nothing in those either. So, and I realize there's light anomalies, there's low light conditions and all that, but anyway, it's who knows. But I know there's a lot of stuff that's happened there. A lot of stuff.
What you was asking about about the different like solar flares and stuff like that that's been going on. I think it's messing with everybody. I think it's not just messing with us. I think it messes with the animals and everything. Just like when you hear the birds and things going off at night. Yeah, most people know that, yes, you hear birds at night. Obviously, there's not, owls and stuff like that. But you shouldn't hear certain birds at night unless something is disturbing.
The songbirds. You go out and they're chirping and carrying on. Yep.
Exactly. Yes.
Like it's 7 in the morning and it's 2 in the morning. Yep.
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
Like the whole tree just lights up over here beside of you. That's obviously there's something bothering them. Just same with chickens. If you hear a rooster crowing at night, you better go check your chicken coop because you've got something in there that ain't supposed to be there.
Have you ever had any chickens?
Will do it too.
Yeah. Have you ever had any chickens missing with no explanation, no feathers on the ground or anything?
I have, but I have predators. We've got hawks, possums, all kinds of stuff. You name it. I don't get them a lot because I have a dog that I keep out here around my chickens for that reason. And so I don't get a lot of stuff going unless they just get them while they're free ranging out back and just kind of snatch one up. But not usually because I'll see feathers if I know something like that's got a hold of them, but that don't happen a lot either. But now I never
we found that bird over at that one place. There was a bird and it was plucked, completely gone of feathers. We found it.
And I think a hawk could do that, like land on them and start pulling feathers maybe. But that place that he's talking about, we got called to that place because of some strangeness where they were walking out. Something was trailing them out. It screamed so loud, it hit the guy in the right ear. He fell down. He dropped his gun. He's in a fetal position or in like this and holding his ears. The other guy starts projectile vomiting immediately. They heard some things. We found a boneyard. That's the place where it's like, how many pigs you got missing? We don't have no pigs. Somebody's got some missing. How many horses y'all had go missing? We ain't never had no horses. We've been here 60 years. What about dogs? What about we were naming this stuff, and I looked down and there was a canine skull, and that thing was split right down the middle, like something cracked it open like a walnut. And we're looking at these bones, and I'm like, and this guy had a cow killed, and the tail was almost snatched up snatched off, pulled towards the head, and it had he thought it was a bite at first, but like something had grabbed it right here, holding it, and it had ripped the bone, the jawbone, and everything out, and the meat's still there. Um, the back was broken in the middle, there, and there's nothing for it to fall off of. So something attacked this cow, and we get down there, cross the creek where the boneyard is, and there are 4 tracks in a line about 4.5 feet apart in the edge of the creek, and they're pretty big ones. And I said, "Hey man, can I put a recorder up here? Can I do?" And we gave him too much information, and we scared him. So we never been back. But it's
Wow.
a lot of this stuff we've talked about, but we
Wasn't
haven't.
we found like that vertebrae or something on the?
Oh,
on the
I about went off, Greg. You know how when you looking at things, you think somebody's messing with you.
Yeah.
I was looking around, and they were in the truck, and I saw something, and they said, "You're going to ride down there with us." I said, "I'm going to do a little walking around." And I walked up in the woods, and there was a log had been there decades. Big log, a tree had fell over. Sitting on that log
I was in
was
the passenger seat and I pointed it out. I'm like, "Hey, look at that!" And then you were walking towards it already. I don't know if you had already seen it, but I seen it because it was white. It didn't. It stuck out like crazy, and I was like, "What is
because
that?"
the log was extra dark. You know what I mean? It was, and then
Yeah.
I walked up to it, and I saw that vertebrae sitting up on that thing, and there was no
Chew
rodent
marks.
chew marks or anything on it, and it was old. It wasn't fresh. It wasn't from last week. It'd been a couple
Yeah.
years, and I looked at that thing, and I flew mad. He's messing with us. So I tested him. He come walking up. He's Peyton's age. I looked at him. He didn't know. I was watching his eyes. He didn't even look to it. Peyton had already seen it. Me and him, he looked at me. We knew. So when he walked up, I like testing folks sometimes saying, I said, "Are you effing with me right now?" Act like I was mad. That kid about crapped his pants. He said, "What are you talking about?" If he'd been messing with me, he'd looked right at it. I said, "You know what I'm talking about?" He said, "I don't, what are you talking about?" And I looked at Peyton. I said, "Dude, this ain't right." And I pointed to it, and there was a cow vertebrae way away from the boneyard,
Yeah.
300 yards probably from the boneyard, 400 yards. It was up in a section of woods, closer to where they'd been screamed at. But I had to test him to make sure if he'd been messing with me, and we were going to leave right then. But I scared the crap out of him, and he didn't know what I was talking about. So
Wow.
that was the first thing we saw out of place. But it was just, and then I remember I was filming, and him and Peyton got into a what was it, a ground bee nest or something? They come running through.
No, I got up there. I was walking up the hill, and I don't know what it was. Something hit me 3 times on the back of the head. It felt like I got hit with a taser. And I could never saw the damn thing. I never heard it. I never saw it. I might have heard like a zzz, like going by me once, but
I heard them
come
squall
running
out.
off the top of that hill. I'm hitting shit with my hat, and I never got whatever it was. And they said it looked like a horsefly bite because it didn't sting. It was like a blunt kind of like it didn't sting like a bee or something. But they said it looked like a horsefly bite, and it actually made me feel sick for the rest of the day because it hurt so bad, and it was right under like where your hair meets with your neck right there.
I
That
was
tender.
I was laughing at them at first, and then I realized they were running to me. I said, "Don't bring them over here, y'all. I can't get away."
I hate bees.
Yeah.
I don't hate bees. I hate yellow jackets. I can't
Hey.
freaking. They'll get me every daggum time.
Let me tell you something else we found. So we continued down the creek after we found the tracks. The tracks were headed the other way, and it had to go up that hill we went on, and it could come around. It could have been watching us, and we wouldn't have known it so thick. So there was a trail. There's a deer trail, and we're walking down this fence line, and I noticed a tree broken over, and it was in the trail. It was blocking the trail. There was a big ass oak. I couldn't put my arms around, even begin to put my arms around. And I was looking, and I said, "Y'all, this right here is a good ambush point." Peyton, you remember how I showed you to put the trees down to steer the deer towards you? I was looking at, there's no reason for that tree to be broke. and it was bushy. It was blocking that, and I got to looking. I thought, man, if all you have to do is get on the other side of that tree and look, and deer coming to you, that's a heck of an ambush spot. And of course, we know some of them might use trees to kill the deer, but I don't know if y'all have talked about that or not. But pick the deer up and slam them against a tree. But anyway, I know Greg's about to fall out.
No, I'm just sitting here soaking it in, my man. My eyes, my allergies is bad, and my eyes are like horribly dry. I keep closing them, hoping they'll like wetten up a little bit. They're
He
working.
ain't sleeping. He's just resting his eyes. Ain't your daddy ever told you that when they're sitting there snoring, watching TV?
I
And you're like, hey.
I hadn't got Yerrington syndrome.
Misty's he got something around the man cave he can rub in his eyes, and he, like red dirt or muscadine juice or something.
Cayenne pepper or something.
Yeah, go out there and grab you a couple of them scorpions off the ground.
Yeah.
Did you see me when you said I didn't know anything about North Alabama and their critters? I go walking down through there and I start looking, and he said, "Hey, now don't pick up nothing. You might get one of them scorpions." And I was like, "Scorpions? Didn't nobody tell me about scorpions?"
Yeah.
Hey, I was working.
Barefoot. I didn't know it either.
I was working at a factory that handled GM parts, and we had some parts come in from Mexico, and one of the guys reached off in one of them totes to grab some wire harnesses or something. And it was a big ass Mexican scorpion about that big sitting in that box that it had crawled. I guess it had crawled in there when it was over in Mexico, sitting at the warehouse there. It crawled in there, dude. Everybody was throwing a fit over that.
Well, it's probably if it's guys like I work, like if it's people like I worked with, they probably put the thing in the box just for the fun of it.
No doubt, yeah. That's when you had a Mexican hat dance on top of that thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't. They might make good catfish bait, reckon.
Possibly.
I'd hate to be the one putting them on the hook.
Maybe.
Yep. So.
All right.
Oh my.
Well, guys, thank y'all for coming on, and thanks for hanging out with us. And Peyton, thanks for telling you stories.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna do a night owls pretty soon, y'all. And if you're not subscribed to that, make sure we've only got a couple of shows over there. If you're new here and you don't know, we do the night owls on this channel, but we actually started another one that we can do on another channel to where, because it's more just kind of laid back, goofing off, all that. We do talk about stuff, but we just talk about random stuff.
And it is Night Owls 1313.
Yes, Night Owls 1313, and
with a Z.
It's with a Z. If you put it, because there's several of them. We didn't know it when we done it, but thankfully we've got that on there. So, but go subscribe to it, because we're going to be starting to do a lot more stuff on there now that Greg's feeling better. Hopefully, at least by the first of the year. It's really, really busy right now. But the next show we're planning on doing in the next few days is on Mandela effects. So what are you laughing at?
Hillary. Oh my God. I can't look at chat when I'm doing my show.
I can't either. I get so distracted.
Between y'all, Greg, you and Greg and Hillary, and I'll have the perfect question, the follow-up question. I'll look over and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I forget. I'm
too.
like, do you have any questions, Amanda? Because I just forgot mine. Yeah, Greg, we ain't wound him up and turned him loose yet. He's still. I know that night.
Yeah.
Hey, hang on. One of you guys, if you can, would you try to share a link for that channel? Because it is hard to find. If you can, if it's not too much trouble, if you guys can find it. I think Gary has them all saved, but he's went to bed. So.
Yeah.
I knew.
We'll try
tell. Go ahead.
Maybe we can try to post a link on Woodwalker's Facebook page.
Hillary's got it.
Yeah.
She's gonna watch her. She's gonna put up the wrong one. Watch.
Nah. Hillary's got to come on there one night.
Good night, Verby.
Yeah. See you, Aunt Verby.
And the only reason I wanted to come on was to show off my Bigfoot 911 shirt.
That's what I'm talking about.
Huh. Oh, here we go.
Is
I've
that
got somewhere hanging up around here. I've got a
Thank
Wendell
you.
Bigfoot 911 trucker hat.
Yep. Yeah. She's like the little sister. She gets
No
on me
doubt.
all the time.
Oh
You
gosh,
have
we
to
love
you have to
Hillary.
you have to get her first before she gets you.
We love every single one of you. And seriously, I mean, y'all make chat, the Facebook page, everything so much fun.
Shit, let's face it.
Um,
Without them, it wouldn't be nothing.
Well, welcome, Brian. We're just don't judge woodwalkers by
Thank
FUD.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, we're laid back tonight. Usually we're a little more on topic, and we got Spencer on here to guide the ship. He's like Jack Sparrow, shortened down.
The fits really
Yeah.
hit the Shan if they brought me off the bench to come in and fill in for someone. So don't. It's
I guess he got tired. He texted me, "What are you doing?" "I'm doing the show." I was like, "Come on."
Yeah, I'm glad he did. Oh my, yeah.
Love you too, Billy.
Peyton's kind of like mine and Misty's adopted nephew now. So
We love Peyton too. He just he don't come around no more. But you know how that is.
Well,
He's got him a new woman. She's all damn lovey-dovey, all pretty and this and that. So we ain't nothing
look,
no more.
he's out with his coverage. I don't know. I wondered for a while if he picked her up at the school for the blind. I wasn't sure. So
well,
yeah.
I told when we were at McMinnville and he was introducing her to everybody. Daryl Denton was standing there being all stoic and everything, and he said, "Yeah, I've been seeing them pictures of y'all on Facebook." I said, "Hell, Daryl, first 2 weeks I didn't know if she could walk or not." He was carrying her everywhere. He started dying laughing because they was all hugged up and the feet in the air and all kissing. And
I don't blame him. I remember long ago, about 3 decades ago, I was crazy about my wife. That shit'll fade.
well,
You can't say that. You can't
like
say
her. I like her because she calls me dad, and the other one used to argue with me. So
There you go.
you can talk about me. Talk about when you leave.
Well, guys,
Well,
they'll get over that crap. Yeah, they're still in love right now.
that's what I'm about telling her. I thought Hillary tried proposing her husband 3 times.
Listen, y'all. She took him. She took him to Pennsylvania to meet the dad. And here's Peyton walking around, all country, and she told him. She said, when we go places, restaurants, and whatever, don't say anything. He's like, "Why not?" He's like, "Well, your accent and everything, the girls will go crazy, and I don't have to fight nobody." And he said one thing. One of the waitresses come up and said, "You want another beer?" And he's like, "Yes, ma'am," or something. She looked at him, and Bree was like, "Stay away."
Oh,
Yeah.
Peyton's adorable. She is too, though, and she fits in with us. You know what I mean? She seems like
Oh,
I don't know how you know what I mean. Like you just know some people, and she just seems like she's some people that just is one of our people.
right. She's they're so funny.
Look, Cans, I'm just gonna tell you, when Wanda says she's missed me, that means she missed me by the gun. She didn't hit me.
You lie.
Well, wait a minute.
We say a lot of crap and joke about and some stuff I guess we probably are serious about, but we've all been married for a long time. Well, me and Greg, anyways, Roger over here and Spencer, Spencer's he's been married about half as long as we have. You've been married Roger, about 4 or 5 years?
Going on
5
6.
years. So you're still newlywed too.
Well, I figured out why Greg went live so many times in the hospital bed. He was scared Wanda's going to unplug him. He wanted witnesses.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Y'all look, this coming, which I mean, it'll be next year. It'll make 30 years for me.
Good gracious.
Three whole decades. There's a lot of people's out there that's been married 30 years. It just ain't the same person.
Heather told me, she said, when we decided to get married, she said, I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Well, what about June? What about?" And she was naming off this. I don't care. I said, what are you doing? She said, I'm trying to figure out a month you ain't been married in before. I'm like, okay. It was only 2. Peyton's mama and this girl I had a crush on in high school who I thought was supposed to be married. So that lasted about 6 months, but this time 22 years. Did you kill the other one, Hillary?
Hillary, you don't have to answer that.
Yeah. Here's your what a pumpkin pie.
Oh wow, look here. Katie said they've been married 33 years.
Golly. They're perfect.
Yeah.
They are. They are.
And I'm telling you, y'all, if Katie gets scared, you better get out of her way.
I think the only reason men want to still married is because we're both too damn stubborn to give up.
Nah, that ain't true.
Well, you can't say nothing.
It's like being mean to her. You're kind of like Spencer. You like the abuse like he does. You like to give the abuse, and Spencer likes to take it. Because I've noticed that I'm not mean to him, or if you're not mean to him, he goes into withdrawals and starts crying about it like we don't love him anymore.
Misty
start doing shit on purpose to make you cuss him out.
Yeah, get a reaction. Misty can't say nothing because we come in a little early. She put JR in the closet upside down.
Yeah,
he's hanging in there. When the dogs start barking and stuff, and he's beating on the door trying to get out. That's what it is.
I told him to hush up and get over there.
She cuts the camera off and they're playing grit ball.
Yeah, she pulled her sock off, shoved it in his mouth.
She got one of those bark collars. So he goes to say something, it shocks him.
Oh, she was telling us that. Yeah, like he gets 2 warnings and then.
Yeah, she quit the cattle prod. That wasn't stout enough.
Hey, real talk. Have y'all ever put one of them shock collars on? I put one of those shock collars on my leg one time and told my buddy to turn it up to 10. And I took off kind of running, and it was all the way up on 10. I see why the dog stopped barking. Now that shit hurt. It locked my leg up. So just know that every time you hit your dog with a shock collar, you're killing him.
That's about like them. But you don't turn them up like that. You literally put them on like 1 or 2.
I remember I had mine. Bendy had a real bad problem about running away and not coming back when I told her to. So I got her a shock collar. This was after this. And I accidentally had it on all the way up to 10. She took off running after something and did a backflip when she got to the boundary and come right back.
I tell you what, I had a dog one time, a hunting dog, and I like to turn him loose in the yard. I mean, he was a pet too, but he was a dog that I hunted. But man, when he'd take off, he wouldn't come back. I don't care if you had a collar on him and it beeped or whatever. You might as well forget it. He'd run and he'd just stiffen like that right there. And I wouldn't like, y'all, I'd never do nothing mean, holding the button down or nothing like that. But anybody that trains dogs, you got to make them mind, especially if they're heading towards the neighbors. You know what I'm saying? You got to get them to come back.
She wouldn't hold the button down on an animal.
He'd just do like that, and he'd just keep on running, and I'd scold him and holler, and he would not come back. I finally quit putting it on him because he just wouldn't mind, so I just didn't even unhook him anymore.
Y'all realize we're talking about JR, right?
Yeah. We know her tail is like what she's really talking about.
Yeah. She's such a baby dog. Yeah.
JR.
He's got to where he's used to it now.
I used to worry about it, but I don't no more.
Well, he signed up for it. That's what she said. He knew what he was getting into.
Well, when I met him at the LBL, I'm like, dude, blink 3 times if you need help, dog. Like, we'll come snatch you out of the tent and make it look like an accident.
Hey, I'm telling y'all, the purple corduroy pants and the capri pants, she trapped him.
And the rompers?
Yeah, romper. That probably. She had a romper back in the day. She had a romper back in the day. He was done.
I've never seen one of them before. I'm like,
I need some more of them. Like, you can get them with everything on them, everything under the sun, chickens, you name it, you can get them.
You probably just sew a few tater sacks together and they look the same.
Well, let me ask you something right quick while we're on air and everybody can hear it. Does that mean, look, we got to start planning us a Christmas episode, and we got to have a New Year's party. New Year's probably needs to be a night out.
All meet at Greg's. Everybody in chat.
No, yeah, we really do need to have a really good Christmas show a few days before Christmas.
Hold on a second.
I'm due for a trip to Greg's.
Yeah, I thought you
Yeah.
forgot where I live.
Well, you working all week?
Me? Yeah.
All right. You talking about Peyton or me?
Oh,
My part of me is still weak and broke down. I ain't working very much.
we
I'll probably be off Friday.
well, we can run down unless he's doing something.
Well, I might have picked Bree up from the airport, so we'll see what
Oh,
time
never
that.
mind.
Yeah,
I'm sure he wouldn't care if we showed up at 7, 8 o'clock. Hell, he's up.
I don't care.
Well, all I know is if we leave at 2 or 3 in the morning, I always like turn the light on and look both ways before I step out there.
All I can tell you, if you show up here, just call me a few minutes before you arrive. Don't do like Troy. Don't do like Troy Allen done. Troy thought it'd be smart to sneak up on Greg, and I heard the door jiggle. And about that time, the door popped open. And when Troy looked in, his head was about 4 foot from a cocked 357 Magnum pointed right at his forehead. Yeah,
You know,
I don't know who was the most surprised, him or me.
Well, we grew up around people like we blow the horn up the
Yeah.
driveway or call you
Yeah.
like, hey, we're almost there.
Well,
Yeah.
last time we stayed there so late, we was eating minter cheese and crackers.
That's right.
Like
That's what I'm talking about.
1:30 in the morning.
That's what he fed us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to, hey, look, I need to go to the store and get me some pimento cheese. I've been out about a month.
Oh God, nobody
why
should
he's
eat
falling
pimento
asleep.
cheese. That don't even look or even sound right. Pimento cheese.
No, it's awesome. Especially
No,
if
I
you
won't
make a
even
grill.
Dude,
Make
it's the
a grill
goodest of
pimento
it's the goodest of all the cheeses.
Yeah.
I won't even taste of it. I'm weird. I'm a big texture person.
Peyton is
It's
too.
cheese. It's cheese.
I
It's
don't
shredded
care.
cheese.
Yeah. You know, now don't get the cheese like substance. You got to get the real cheese, you know.
Yeah.
Orange
was
that-
real.
sandwiches.
With real minners in it.
Hillary, why does this orange sandwich taste like diesel fuel?
I've
Man.
never tried it. I don't know, but my mom runt me on that crap whenever I was little, and she'd make sandwiches out of it, and I was just like, "How can you even?"
Yeah.
Oh, they're so good.
I told the minter cheese story on one of the night owls. Y'all go back and look at that.
Yeah.
That lady was in the store. What but one thing better than minter cheese.
Did
And she told me.
Did Bree tell y'all the story about the hill being mowed while we were at that
I don't
thing?
think so.
All right, well, so she's from Philly, a little south of Philly, so it's the same thing basically. So like a lot of different words and different things and all that, accent and all that. So we're driving by this hill, and it looked like someone had just like knocked it down to the dirt. Like you could tell there used to be trees there, and then there weren't. And I said, "Damn, they skint that hill back, didn't they?" And she looked over and then looked at me and looked back over, and like she just looked straight for the next 20 minutes. Nothing I said between that time and the next 20 minutes like was registered. And she said, "What did you say back there?" I'm like, "What?" She said, "About the side of that hill." I was like, "They skint it back." She was like, "What's a skint?" I'm like, "What do you?" She was like, "Is that a piece of farm equipment? Is it a verb? What is it?" I'm like, "How do you spell it? Can you use it in a sentence?" Dude, it threw her for a loop. She ain't never heard me shit. What's a skint?
The first
She
first
thought
month.
she thought it's another word for a damn bush hog or something.
And what was fun, and we still say stuff not meaning to that she's never heard before. You know, and it's like she'll look around like, what in the world? But Peyton's full of it.
Yeah,
Somebody asked what kind of cheese we were talking about. It's pimento cheese.
It's got
Yeah.
pimento peppers.
It's pimento.
It's got minter peppers in it.
Minter heads and mac.
Big blocks of government cheese. Yep.
Man, look, y'all, I'd pay $100 bill and buy pay $100 bill a piece and buy 3 blocks of government cheese right now.
Oh my God.
Why was that the best cheese ever?
I remember
I tell
growing
you,
up and my mama having the big old blocks of that cheese. They'd break it
I
out.
was asking Bree, did they have souse up there? And she said that I was describing what it was. She was like, well, there's something like that, and it's called, I don't remember what she called it. She was like, scrapple. And she was like, well, you fry this one. Yeah, you can't fry our souse. It'll just turn to jelly in the pan. Like
you got pieces of eyeballs and
you got to eat it cold. Even at room temperature, shit starts to melt.
Yeah. And another thing, this is getting a little nostalgic, but back when we were really, really young, my mama didn't wait on me much. She taught me to do my own stuff. I was like, Mama, you get me some tea, get your own damn tea. Okay. So that, she was teaching me. She grew up in a household where the girls and the ladies had to wait on the guys, and she hated that. So it was a good thing. I can cook, I can do whatever for myself, but I can't you can take 2 pieces of bread, a piece of bologna, and some onions and mustard, and I can't make it as good as she did. Now, why did hers taste better? I mean, I don't know.
It was probably real food then.
It was probably real food.
Like
you're right.
It was real cheese back then.
It was made with love, Roger.
That's what it was.
It was made with love.
Dude, someone said they're not eating Spam. Spam's gold.
Now, look, I like some Spam.
I'm not a
Spam Mater egg and cheese sandwich, dude. You can't beat it.
Good old Spam sandwich with daggone grilled in a freaking skillet.
Look, y'all look into the guy that used to warm up. I used to warm up potted meat on the engine block when we'd be deer hunting, where we'd be using dogs.
What do you do? Drink it?
Yeah,
you put a straw in it?
Yeah, we'd pop the hood, crack the can of potted meat and set it up there on the engine block and let it get good and warm.
Did it bubble?
It had potted meat. It had a potted meat slushy.
Yeah, it was like made out of assholes and elbows. So, I mean, it was nice.
Take it and dump it in your coffee.
No potted meat.
Now wait a minute. Look, I've eaten 2 truckloads of potted meat in my life, but I ain't never cooked that shit. I don't know. It looked like silly putty.
What happens if you throw it in the microwave? Does it swell up like a
stir up in a can that's supposed to be meat?
Greg, take some out and put it in the microwave on like 18 minutes and see what happens.
Swell up like a peep. Just turn into some monster that nobody can kill.
I showed him when he was little.
What the hell is potted meat?
Bunch of peeps left over. Them little chickens, the sweet chickens from Easter. I had an idea. We was bored. Me and Peyton, I went in there. I said, what happened? I put one of them things in the microwave. That thing got big as a duck, a real duck. And it's like looking out the window at us. We're looking at it and cut it off. I cut it off and opened the door. It shriveled up like hard glass, smaller than it was when it started. So, and I cooked a donut one time for 5 minutes, and don't do that.
Hey, tell the story about Emmett microwaving that big ass cheeseburger that they used to sell at stores.
What? Hillary, my son's on here.
Hillary.
What? I don't want to know
where you're going with this, but I can tell you
Whoa, dude. You can't say that.
Greg, say it again. Greg, say it again. It wasn't infected.
Yeah, look, if it's spotted, somebody needs to see a doctor and get rid of that.
Was it like that?
Yeah. Did it have a U to it?
Oh my God. Heather's going to kill me.
Wait, hold on. She says, hold on, look it up. It's a real food.
Yeah, it's some of that British stuff.
That's a trap. That's one of them traps, and then your Google history starts looking sketchy. No, hell no, I'm not Googling that.
The first thing I thought
That's the reason them British folks lost the war in 1776 is eating spotted dick.
And toast at 8 o'clock in the morning and calling it breakfast.
The first thing when I saw a post, a horse popped in my head. I don't know why.
I can just see it now. Can I have some spotted dick?
May I have some more?
Spotted dick and beans.
No wonder their ass lost.
Spotted dick and mush.
Yeah. Look, anybody that thinks a gourmet breakfast is goddamn pork and beans on a piece of white bread, that leaves a lot to wonder.
It'd be like cutting a birthday cake. Which piece do you want here? The
Spotted dick and
crumpets.
I have the one. Look, if they have that stuff, I wonder if it's circumcised.
I don't know, y'all. Please, nobody take offense to us.
Spotted dick on a biscuit.
Makes me wonder what part of the animal that come from.
I don't know.
The spotted part.
Yeah, exactly.
In the dick part.
Is that like at Whole Foods or Discount Market?
So, like, would you take the cheese and like wrap it around her, or lay it on top of it?
Oh my God, Hillary sent me a picture, y'all. Hold on.
You put the cheese over it, Peyton, and you call that the pup tent.
The spotted dick blanket.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm sure it is an acquired taste. I'm not going to acquire it.
Apparently Heinz makes it.
It
Heinz
is.
makes it. Yeah.
I ain't eating Heinz no more.
Yeah.
I had to get the Sam's Choice.
Hey, we went to Disney one time, and we were at this 5-star restaurant, right? And I got this like duck something, and I'm like, whatever. I ain't never eaten duck, so I'll get it. And I get it, and it's in like this. It's in a blob, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And it's basically duck spam, where they grind a duck up and just smear it all over your plate, and you're supposed to sop it up with a piece of toast. Look, it's a British food too.
Peyton's redneck butt goes down there and eating in all these 5-star restaurants, and they're eating all fancy. Tell them what you do with that gecko with that straw.
Oh, you know those what are they called? Them little drinks with the little bubbles in the bottom, the jellies. What are they called?
Bulbas.
Bulbas. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, those. So there was a little gecko on he was on a little limb just hanging out. And I took one and put it in that straw and hit it. And it hit him right behind the head and killed the shit out of him. In the middle of Disney World. I'm gonna piss myself laughing. And everybody the other guy saw it and he started laughing too. We were on our knees, like this lizard just laying there like twitching because it just got killed by a jelly ball.
Oh God.
Good Lord.
That reminds me when we was sitting at Ryan's eating before they done away with like the Ryan's restaurants. I was a kid, but my cousin was with me and my dad had took us out for some reason. It was just us three. And I was sitting and taking a pack of mayonnaise. We was in a booth. And I had a pack of mayonnaise and was mixing it up. And I was doing this right here with the pack. And I wasn't paying attention, just talking. Well, the end blew out of the pack. And it flew and hit the guy at the table across from us in the other booth behind me. And I was like, oh, shit. Because he was done doing this. And I was trying not to laugh. And I was just sitting here. And I was like.
Good God.
Imagine just
seen it happen, and she was like, "Did you just squirt that at that man?" And I was like, "I don't know what happened." He turns around and he's like, just like, "Did you?" And I'm like, "Look, I'm sorry." I was like, I mean, how do you explain that? I was trying to mix my mayonnaise, and it just happened to go straight at the back of your head, hit you in the ear. Just, I mean, perfect aim.
Spotted
It
dick
wasn't
wasn't
on
good all the way.
You just swore it was.
Oh my god. The people
We were eating
grew up.
frog legs. We got frog legs, and I'm sitting there eating mine like chicken wings or whatever. And I look over, and these people are like cutting it with a fork and knife, and I've got it all over my face, and they're looking at me like I'm the plague. And I'm like, y'all ain't never eat frog legs before? What the hell? Like,
I remember, speaking of Epcot, we went and a bunch of people.
how do
from the
y'all say
neighborhood-
that? Was she just put up
What?
the sausage in the can? Those.
Viney sausages.
Vine.
Viney?
Yeah,
Viney.
yeah. I got made fun of for saying it like that by Bree the other day. She said, "What'd you just say?" I said, Viney sausages. She says
Viney
Vienna.
sausage.
It's Vienna, and I'm like, no, not down here. It ain't.
My, Peyton Granddaddy used to say Vienna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Viney sausage. Viney wieners.
Stop, Greg. I know what you're about to say. Y'all, I guess I need to get off here so Heather can get some sleep.
Oh, man.
She's,
Yeah.
she's probably gonna hit me with a baseball bat when I step out of this room.
Well, to everybody out there, thanks y'all for hanging out with us and hopefully enjoying our craziness. And big love to all y'all. We'll see y'all soon.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks again, Peyton and Roger, and everybody that hung out with us tonight and is going to watch later. And y'all make sure you go check out the other channel because we're going to do Mandela effects. So y'all kind of make sure that you study up and see what you remember and what you don't, because we're going to kind of do it as like an interaction thing. Because I'm wondering how many remember stuff one way and how many don't, because I know a lot of the people that watch us are, most of you are about our age and older. And so a lot of us remember, stuff that they're saying that's never happened.
And here's the trick.
I'm
There's
gonna
not
ask y'all
going to
what
be a
spotted
show.
dick is,
And
if somebody
you're
don't
going to
give
say,
me the right answer.
Misty said there was going to be a show about, that whatever. No, she didn't. She said, I didn't do that. That's part of it.
Yeah. It'll be our own Mandela effect.
So wait a minute, Harold. I was in Wyoming a couple years ago, and I went by this little place, and they had cooked fresh burgers and stuff like that. And Heather put me in charge of going and getting the food. She was back at the hotel with Honey, and I saw a sign that said fresh mountain oysters. And I've had rooster fries. I whipped in there. I said, "Still got some in mountain oysters?" She said, "Yeah, I got some in here. I'll fry them up for you." I said, "Well, give me so many hamburgers and fries and all that stuff." My tongue about beat my brains out when I got back to the hotel room. Those are so good. God, that was good. I could just think about making a sandwich out of them. They were cut thin. They had that obvious shape. But
I ain't eating no tickles.
What?
I don't want to eat no tickles. Them test tickles. I ain't eating none of them.
Hey, they're good.
You can have my
I
share.
don't know about that.
It's just like chicken, whatever spice you put on it.
Not everything tastes like chicken. I don't care what y'all try to damn sell.
Can I tell my raccoon story?
Is PETA going to shut us down?
I don't give a damn. Peter can, yeah.
Give a damn.
It ain't my show, hell.
Oh, God.
That's why he's never on my show,
Roger,
y'all.
Can't you do something with him?
Oh,
No,
boy.
so we were in PetSmart, me and my
How
buddy.
did we end up with 13 rooster fries?
We were bored the other day, so we go to PetSmart. I said, I want to have a look, see at one of them little geckos, see what they got going on. So
Was you
I go,
gonna
and huh?
Was you gonna shoot it with a spit what?
No, I was gonna keep it and take him around. I was gonna name him Boone, hold him around, show him at the next meet and greet. But no, they wanted an astronomical amount for a lizard that I could go catch in Florida for free. So anyway, I got to looking and on the thing next to it, in the little glass case next to it, there had these rats running around, and I guess to make the rats feel better about themselves, they named them fancy rats. They're not just a regular rat because they come from PetSmart. And I asked my buddy, I'm like, what's the damn difference in one of these rats and one I can go grab off a glue trap in my chicken coop. Like, that's the same damn thing. Well, a PetSmart employee interjected himself in the conversation. Was like, well, see, these have shorter tails and they're more, I don't know how to put it. And I'm like, domesticated? And he was like, yeah, that's it. And I'm like, it makes sense. So, this dude was long haired, one of them fellers, just kind of swishy. And, from the city, we'll say it like that. And, I brought up this story that I'd read it and then I heard it on the radio the next day where they're talking about we might actually see raccoons become domesticated in our lifetime because the ones in the city are pretty much like so docile towards people now because they're constantly feeding them. It's only a matter of time for people let them in their house, and like one litter, it's like dogs in the way back a long time ago. And studies are showing that the raccoons in town are getting like a 30% shorter nose and their eyeballs are getting bigger. So they're looking cuter and all this. And I mean, I know what that means. It's natural selection and all that or whatever. And I said, I don't know what the damn noses getting shorter and eyeballs getting bigger mean, but apparently that means they're becoming domesticated. And he was like, well, it means that people are keeping the cuter ones around and killing the ones that look just mean and scraggly. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I said on a real note, have you ever had a barbecue raccoon before? And he looked at me and his face, he flew pissed off. He's like, no, what does it taste like? And I'm bullshitting. I was like, it's like a mix between fish, pork, and chicken. It's kind of greasy. Things like, how would you even cook that? I'm like, shit, you throw it in a crock pot for like 5 hours with your vegetables and spices of choosing, and you let it ride. It's delicious. And dude, he got so mad, he just turned around and walked off. While I'm saying this, my friend is in the other aisle, bent over, laughing because he can see this dude's face through the glass. And he was pissed. He didn't like it. I was like, he was mad because people kill raccoons, and I was like, you've obviously never crawled in a tree stand with one of them angry motherfuckers waiting on you, biting and popping his teeth, waiting on you to try to get up in there
I'm
with
gonna
him.
tell this story where Peyton gets that at. Now, this is a made up story I told him to tell his grandma because she was being mean to him, and she was mean. She would buy him a hunting game and tell him how horrible a person he was while he's playing it, get mad and put it up. And she used it when he was a young kid. And I said, Peyton, she's just messing with you. I said, next time she does that crap, tell her, say, go ahead and put that up in the closet, Mama. Me and Daddy will get a shotgun and go blow squirrels out of the nest for real. Baby squirrels out of the nest.
Oh my God.
I didn't think he was going to tell her that. He told her shit. She got so
Good
damn
Lord.
mad. But
She caught me cutting the heads off my little toy deers and stuff and super gluing them to my sister's Barbie doll house. It's like taxidermy mounts.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you don't want to eat one that looks like it's got the manger rabies, I guess.
Dude said,
No doubt.
for real, I'm only gonna eat cute raccoons.
yes,
No doubt.
take the calls. Y'all didn't even want to know what happens to the ugly chickens. Do they
Oh.
breed?
They're in that spotted dick mixture.
Yeah. Look, I know another food group that I will stay away from.
They're potted meat.
Wonder if they make.
Not spotted, the spotted.
Yeah.
No
Well-
spotted meat for me.
Did she spell potted wrong? Is that potted B or?
No, it was spotted.
And my question is, hold on. My question is, why the hell is it a sponge? Sponge pudding. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Why is it
You know,
spongy?
they eat like over in Great Britain they eat like a pudding, but it's like congealed pig blood.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
just like-
pig blood and sugar or something.
Yes,
Or
it's blood.
no, it's oats. It's oats and pig blood.
Yeah, they can have all that shit they want.
Have y'all seen the videos where the young kids from over there. They show them like fried chicken
Yes.
for the first time, or tea, sweet tea, and all that, and it like
Yes.
blows their mind. Figgy pudding. There's a song about that, ain't it?
That would be piggy pudding.
Horse pudding. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, Mitchy,
night,
see if you can get us out of here before we have to. We're on here another hour.
yeah, y'all. Again, thanks. See, I keep going back to comments. I can't help it.
Look at Katie. Look at
Katie, you know we wouldn't do that.
No.
Hillary
No.
started it.
Sponge
Yeah.
pecker. I'm gonna start
Yeah.
calling somebody that as an install. Like, you sponge pecker, some bitch.
I can't get my pudding on. Did you talk dirty to it?
How you get the main cell up? You rub it.
Yeah.
Varix, I see that. Thank you, sir.
Oh man.
Varix, like, I ain't asking no questions tonight. Y'all know we're gonna start getting pictures of some crazy looking potted meat from Misty.
Uh-huh.
With a
Like,
bone in it. That's a raccoon.
I like my potted meat boneless, please.
We had to eat some crazy shit in UP5, but I wasn't touching nothing that looked like it
Don't
was
get that started.
stirred up meat.
Bone.
Look, y'all, before you have
Piece
them,
of,
make sure y'all got
there's a piece
spots
of
on it.
buckshot in my potted meat.
Them honey buns wasn't boneless. I promise you that.
Kind of sick game are we playing?
Peyton hadn't heard the honey bun story.
Oh
Oh,
man.
your honey bun story house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it.
he
He was
called
doing
him
it for
out.
the love of the game at that point. There wasn't no surviving there.
No.
I have come up with another idea for the show, since we're gonna do several different things and we're gonna do therapy sessions.
Yes.
With who?
They're gonna do
Who's
what?
going to lead them? You're going to be the therapist?
Yes.
She's gonna be like,
I am wonderful at solving other people's problems.
look, dude, she's gonna be like the Appalachian version of Dr. Ruth.
You'll be sprinkling bold Dr. Pepper on your back. Be like, how do you feel now?
Dr. Roofy.
Sticky and hot.
Sticking a chicken leg in a bell. Did that do anything for you?
Shaking them bones and rolling them like, oh, you
Yes.
need to go to the doctor.
Pulls a can of spotted dick and clanks it on the table. How does that make you feel? What do you see?
What's the first thing?
First thought, go.
Oh God. I'm laughing so hard I'm sweating and crying at the same time.
Oh my God.
Got the spotted dick sweats.
But I really do have another idea for doing some stuff on the
Who you going to therapize?
on the night owls. No, that was just a joke.
No, it wasn't. She's been talking about that for weeks.
Yeah, but we better not do.
She's
we
going
better not do
she's going
that.
to give JR acupuncture with dull butter knives.
No doubt.
Again.
Good night, Leanne. Seriously,
Yeah.
listen, I figured we would do a segment, like a UP5 segment, and not all the time, just kind of like, we do the, when we started out with the night owls, or the after hours is actually what the night owls started out as on this channel. And then we started calling it night owls, and then we moved it to the other channel. But now on, I know this is confusing. I want to start doing something where we do like a UP5 segment and kind of make it fun, do like a little game and make it with criminals, like real.
There you go.
No, I'm serious.
I
want to take people's mug shots and play games with them.
I have a feeling.
We'll just get some of these folks with mugshots, and we'll just make fun of them. I mean, look, that'd be plenty.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, we're definitely going to, and try to figure out what they done and all that. But I think we are to
Like,
take
what's the
them.
over under of cats in their house and shit?
Yeah, exactly.
I have a
Yeah.
feeling UP5 was filled with asbestos and lead paint.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yes.
It'll
I-
be fun. Trust me. It'll be
Did I
fun.
tell
feel
Yes,
Roger, I've honestly, I've really thought about that a bunch of times because I'm telling you, when I went through school, I mean, we had like 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. You was a junior, then you was a senior. I ain't never met no damn body that went to school where you called a grade upper pod 5. That's the goddamn prison thing.
I told you about the time I shut the school down, didn't I? With the frog.
with
Did
the
I?
frog.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Last one, Roger. We got to call it a night.
So there I was, me and a frog.
Statute limitations is off. I had to go to summer school, and this teacher before summer school started said we got 16 frogs or whatever the number was, and she just kept harping on it. We got 16 frogs. We got to split everybody. We're going to dissect a frog, right? I'd eaten so many frogs, I didn't even care. So I'm looking at it, and we're counting it, and there's 17 frogs, or there's one more than what she keeps saying. I look at my buddy. I'm like, there's an extra frog. He said, what are we going to do with it? I don't know. Put it in the freezer, save it for later. When there's no frogs ever talked about, we'll come out with a frog, and that's where it come from. He's all right, cool. Well, we forgot about it.
Go outside and just catch a frog anytime you want.
No, but these are funky looking pickled frogs. So
Formaldehyde.
So I put it in the freezer. They had a little refrigerator freezer, like old style. I put it in the freezer and said, we'll get it later. Remind me. All right. Well, we forgot about it. And I didn't know during the summer they unplugged all that shit. So I had to go to summer school. We showed up one day and there was people with like hazmat suits, vans everywhere, cleaning supplies. They said, y'all got to go back home. So, it's a horrible smell. I'm like, I don't know. So, okay. So we went home a couple of days and they called us back and went in there. And one of my buddies, he said, did you hear what that horrible smell was? I said, no, I have no idea. He said, they found a frog in Mr. Duke's freezer. They cut it off. I don't know how many thousands of dollars they spent.
Good Lord.
I said, I don't know, man, a frog for real? You had to be there.
How did that get there?
Yeah.
Oh,
I used to do a lot of mischievous stuff.
Oh man, I swear,
Yeah.
if we actually really sat down and told stories that we probably shouldn't tell, man.
Tommy, for our senior prank, my buddy Tommy let 3 goats off in the school. He got the key from a teacher, stole it, and snuck in the school and let 3 goats loose in the school and spray painted them 1, 2, and 4. And they spent like all night looking for number 3.
Oh my God. That's priceless.
It's the first I've heard of this.
And the only reason he got caught is because his dumbass showed these goats, and the principal went to the fainting goat show or whatever and recognized the goats and who they were.
And y'all, the fainting
They probably
goat,
had tags in their ear too.
have y'all ever blown horn at fainting goats and watch them fall over?
Oh yeah, that's
so
still
horrible. I mean, yeah, I know that's what they do, but it's funny. But golly, the poor little goats.
Let me give y'all a little tidbit. Y'all can Google. Marshall County, Tennessee has the Goat Music and More Festival. That's where we watch Aaron Tippin for free and all that, and it's pretty big. Well, the thing about it, the fainting goats originated here in Marshall County, and they traced bloodlines back. They're like, no, that's not true. There's some in Egypt or whatever, and they come from Marshall County originally. So that defect come from this county, and that's why they have the goats music, stuff.
Really?
Wow.
Yep. Yep.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it don't mean nothing. It's just kind of a cool.
That's still cool, though. I mean,
go up, blow your horn, the goat falls over, and you go, "Hey, buddy, I think your goat's broken."
That was the most fun thing back in the day. We had a lot of people moved in with the Saturn plant, and it's like, hey man, you ever seen a fainting goat? No. You come up right there and it'd be like 80 of them. You start blowing the horn, like half of them fall over, and others run and fall over. They're like, did you just kill them?
No doubt. Yes.
No. Hiller, yes ma'am. Defects in my county. And y'all,
All right, Misty.
You missed
You
a
gonna have
lot.
to
So
Yeah. You're gonna have to get out
kind of death wobbled, and it was out
Yeah.
after that.
yeah, we went from pecker cheese to something else. I don't know what was it.
Yeah.
Not pecker cheese.
Pecker sponge. Sponge pecker. You sponge pecker.
Lordy Jesus.
Lord,
Roger,
Not to be
Jesus.
not to be confused with a woodpecker.
Lord be with them little pygmies.
Somebody said something about having a sponge pecker blind tasting or something.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh, spotted spam.
From under cheese. From under what? Don't answer that.
Come out from under a cow.
Spotted spam.
Man. The thing about it, y'all, these folks ain't, if they met us in person, they just think this is crazy.
Peyton's 10 times worse than I am. I have to call him down every
Dude,
now.
the shit that's come to my mind that I have to hold back.
Trust me.
You talking about getting kicked off by the raccoon stuff.
That's why him and Spencer get along so good.
PETA would be outside somebody's door.
Oh man, y'all. Okay, seriously, we got to go. I'm crying. I can't even see anything. My
Okay,
eyes are
you
so
hate us. I get it. You don't want to talk to us anymore. You hate us, bye.
Now I want a Vegemite sandwich.
No doubt.
You remember that song?
Yes. I don't think I want no Vegemite. That shit looks like crude oil.
No, not eating that. Like, it don't even sound appealing. Vegemite.
Yes. All right.
Sounds like
Well,
a
big love,
horrible
everybody.
disease.
Thank y'all.
See y'all later.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope we wasn't too far out there. Normally it's not like this, but not on this channel. Well,
We do
but
take boogering seriously. We don't take ourselves seriously at all.
100%. Yes, that's not nothing.
It's
we joke
always
about,
like
so-
this, just about a different subject. What are you talking about?
Oh,
All right. Well, guys, thank you. Seriously, we love yous all. Hope yous have a wonderful rest of your night since it's done 12:30 here. So
well, I'm gonna tell Heather to call y'all tomorrow.
Yeah. There you go.
JR's back there sleeping too, and the dog done went and pushed the door open. So there's no telling how many times I've woke him up.
The dog.
All right, guys. We love yous. See yous later. Bye.
Oh, man, look. On the computer, you have to hit okay. Anyway.
Just turn me on, turn me up, turn me loose.